Oh man.
Oh, hello.
Are we live?
I probably should have written into this earlier.
We are live.
I got to start preparing for these things before they start.
Go here.
He said about his entire life.
Hello, people.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. How we doing?
Are people hearing us now? Nice.
Yeah, people can
hello,
hear.
everybody.
Can everyone see the set? Can you guys see okay?
Yeah.
Everyone watching, can you
How
see
does-
okay?
How does Eli look? Does he look okay to everybody?
Do you like my costume, everybody? That's a joke exclusively for us because you guys are very helpfully going to be like, no, I can't see you. And we know you can't see us. We just decided to be as unhelpful as possible before we ask you for a tremendous amount of money. Just to really keep the vibes high and tight. But you're all too busy talking amongst your fucking selves, apparently. So you know what? Fuck it.
They're
Hey,
out there
there might be
making
a slight
friends.
delay, Eli.
Yeah. It just is.
Yeah, there's no video.
There
yet.
it
Not
is.
yet.
I got him.
Not yet.
I
Not yet.
fucking got it. Gotcha. Welcome to the prank zone.
What Eli meant to say is
the
click this
it's up there.
QR code. Yes, go ahead and scan that. That is
QR code, guys. There's
Wait,
a QR
is
code
Ian
on.
on mic? Did we just add a member to the fucking cast?
Yes. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Eli,
We
I'm
have
gonna
a
ask you
Tony.
to turn it down a couple notches.
No.
Yeah, actually, maybe you should turn it down.
That is
Oh,
not
do you mean
possible.
volume wise or emotion? I'm emotional energy.
I think you meant
maybe
both.
volume, but
Because I
thank you
can
so
I can
much.
do one of those things.
Oh.
Okay,
Just-
thank you so much. Thank you.
You could do them both on timeout, and Ian can put you there. So.
Eli's
became a
emotions go to
podcaster.
11.
Because I can't do this.
Oh shit! Thank you, silent dissonance.
If you're watching this on your phone, though, you can't use the QR code because you can't scan your
Oh,
phone
that's
with
right.
your phone.
Well, you could take
Oh,
a photo, a screenshot,
right?
and then look at the screenshot, and then touch the code in your screenshot.
I don't think that would work.
It might.
I have a security feature at my work that like requires me to log in using a QR code that appears on my phone with my phone. It's like, scan this. And I'm like, I need another corporate phone.
You gotta have you have like an infinite number of phones
Well,
looking at.
I actually have two corporate phones. So to log in, I have to take one corporate phone
Nice.
and take a picture with the other and take a picture with the other.
That's-
It's like, it's fucking mirrors looking at mirrors
That's
to fucking log in.
That's efficiency.
I sent it to our IT guy, who, by the way, is one of our close friends, and he just laughed. He's like, "Yep, that's the way they did it."
That's how they do it. That's how they do it around here, folks.
So people are posting the link in chat for the donation. Remember, we want to eat up as much of that $28,100 that we have in matches ready to go. So please donate fast and hard to the Harris Walz Fund. You can
So
see it on the
hard.
thing. Just do it as hard as you can.
We're already up to
And then-
50 scans on the QR code. We can track that if you guys scan.
Oh,
the
that's
QR
So
awesome.
we're
code.
going to
That's
stop
exciting. People have-
periodically to check in for the
So if
amount,
you're
but we're not
poor,
going to look
the
at the
least you
amount.
could do is scan
while
the
it's on.
QR code. That's
That's-
all.
Send it to sales lead at least for
Accurate.
us. Come on.
Stone Banana says, or cognitive distance could put the link in the description. Isn't the link already like? Isn't it
It's
like
pinned.
On
it's
the
in a?
screen, and it's also linked on the chat. It should be, but if
It should
you
be
need it in
pinned to the chat,
description,
right?
It can be.
I'll put it in this description.
Put it in there, Stone Banana.
Put it everywhere, Ian.
You want to make sure he's happy.
Ban Xenophanes. They
You
say
don't want to
Jesus
piss
is
off a stoned banana.
You really
No,
don't. You really don't. And he's local, so he'll drive
Yes.
over here.
Have that.
A
$5.
goodly number of people hanging out. This is
$5
nice.
from A Smith 2012. Thank you, A.
Thank you,
Smith.
thank you, thank you. Every
Thanks for the
dollar,
sub.
every dollar counts.
Will
That
there be
dollar
video?
matters 5
There,
times more.
there will
There is
be
video.
video.
There
We're-
will be
we're
in
teasing
1
you.
minute. We're
Technically,
just
this is
teasing you,
video.
waiting for people to show up, just so we could get enough.
There's
people
not
in
enough
here
people
get
to see
started.
us yet. It's like the Beatles. We demand a certain.
Yeah, there's
size
gotta be-
audience.
You don't
a
just
certain
jump
number.
into video
Yeah.
of Eli without a little foreplay.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna fucking pull a muscle or some shit. You
I
kidding
hate
me?
You gotta
that- know
warm
that
up,
Reddit
you
where
know?
it's like either a cute image or a not cute image. Like it's like an open butthole or a puppy, and you gotta choose whether or not you want to click the link.
What Cecil
what I
said
like.
works. You can take a picture on your phone and then tap the QR code in the photos in your
Can
face.
you
Tom.
really?
In your
Yeah, eat
face.
shit.
Fuck
In
if
your
I know shit
face.
about shit.
Damn.
I hope your least favorite
All
kid
right.
dies.
In celebration.
Jesus
In
Christ.
celebration.
Live, and I'm
All right,
very
Ian.
In
head-
celebration sounds like
We're
an
going
incel's
live.
birthday.
I think
Hold-
we should go live
Wait,
now.
this is
Did you
gonna-
hear what Eli just said?
I
we
know
should go
that's
live.
we're definitely age restricted. I think also the running joke will be, Eli, you need to turn your mic up a little bit.
Are we already
Not
age
as
restricted?
far as you
Or
did. Not
down?
as far as you did before. Just
I'm
like-
literally
just a
moving it
scooch.
back and forth between
Just a
two
scooch.
numbers.
Yes, but is it a click? It's not a variable. Whatever. That's fine. Just
All right.
not a full. Okay. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna play.
Here we
the
go,
music.
everybody.
I moved it up
All
again.
right.
Please.
Hey, who's reading tonight?
Right. Okay, stop. Here we go.
Oh, thank God somebody sped
Oh
it up.
gosh, we're
Oh.
here. Oh,
Yeah, I love
hello.
our theme music, but fuck.
Hello. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, except tonight we read something that would not pass the rigors of a Wikipedia check. It is Project 2025. Tonight, we're going to be doing a live read episode to raise funds for the Harris Walz Campaign. Welcome to Humanists for Harris. I'm Cecil, and I'm joined by my good friends, Tom, Heath, and Noah.
Bringing big bad energy to the big dad energy. Here we
Nice.
go, buddy. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bringing the big kind of sort of stepdad energy.
And I am
Timu
proud to be,
stepdad.
I do believe, the only member of this cast that has been CGI'd into a Harris campaign rally.
I
So-
know,
That's
yeah.
fair.
That's good.
Also, everybody, Eli's here.
Yeah. You may hurt me, Cecil, but we're hurting Donald Trump more tonight, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
All right. I'd like to start tonight by thanking our matching donors. These amazing people put up a total of $28,100 as matching funds. That means that if you donate right now, you can double your money. So thank you to Jan, Fred, Kenny and Kyle's App Company, Gorillista,
Woo!
Zachary and Madeline Wilson,
favorite app
Petro,
It is.
Christopher, Dave, Sam, Ian from Wine Country, and No Illusions. And
No
also
Illusions.
Tom and I.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom and Cecil.
Remember that you can donate anytime. We have a QR code on the screen. I'll point this way because that's where it is. It's over there.
Hey, if you take a picture of the
And
QR
down
code, you can
there.
just tap
And you
the
know,
picture.
Tom, if you take a photo, it just goes. It just
I'll
works out.
explain
perfect.
that to you.
Yeah. So you can take a picture of the QR code and scan it, and you can head over to that link, and we can see if we can meet all those matching funds. So without further ado, tell us, Noah, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Okay, well, first of all, we're going to be talking about how my donation was originally there so that we wouldn't end up with a weird ass number like 28,000. And now my number's actually making it worse. And I think it's just you guys trying to get $2,000 out of me. And that's what we're
Yeah.
doing here.
$1,900. Yeah.
So to answer your question, though, we're going to be annotating the introduction to Project 2025, written by Kevin D. Roberts, PhD.
PhD. Okay.
Just keep
Fantastic.
in
On
mind
that
the whole
note,
time.
on that note, Tom.
Is it real?
Well,
PhD
What do
is
you
short for fucked.
what do you mean by real?
Yeah, is it like an honorary doctorate from Bob Jones University?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Right
didn't look him
answers.
up. Didn't look him up.
Tom, why don't you get us started?
All right. 44 years ago, the United States and the conservative movement were in dire straits. Both had been betrayed by the Washington establishment and were uncertain whom to trust. Both were internally splintered and strategically adrift. Worse still, at that moment of acute vulnerability and division, we found ourselves besieged by existential adversaries, foreign and domestic. The late 1970s were, by any measure, a historic low point for America and the political coalition dedicated to preserving its unique legacy of human flourishing and freedom.
Only some actor whose co-star was a monkey could save us.
In a time when only
Mom's
one
not an
man
actress.
was dumb enough to believe you could do economics fucking backwards. Ronald Reagan.
Today, America and the conservative movement are enduring an era of division and danger, akin to the late 1970s. Now, as then, our political class has been discredited by wholesale dishonesty and corruption.
Okay, but that was you. You guys did that.
guys
Was your
did
thing. You did that to you.
Self-aware. Look at America under the ruling and cultural elite today. Inflation is ravaging family budgets. Drug overdose deaths continue to escalate, and children suffer the toxic normalization of transgenderism and drag queens and pornography invading their school life.
Hey, let's circle the one that doesn't belong in that list just now. Like, people can't afford to eat. Heroin is killing people. I don't get how drag race works.
I don't understand.
Wait, if you win, you can't be on All Stars? I don't understand.
The guest judges don't actually vote for who wins the challenges? This is too confusing.
Crazy.
I heard they were going to do a winner All Stars.
Overseas, a totalitarian communist dictatorship in Beijing is engaged in a strategic, cultural, and economic Cold War against America's interests, values, and people, all while globalist elites in Washington awaken only slowly
Jewish.
to that, to that growing threat. Moreover, low-income communities are drowning in addiction and government dependence.
These people that work 2 full-time jobs, they do not deserve food stamps. Let's just cut that right out of there.
Exactly. You're never going to solve the problems of the low-income communities with income.
Contemporary elites have even repurposed the worst ingredients of 1970s radical chic to build the totalitarian cult known today as the Great Awakening.
Nobody calls it that. Stop trying to make awakening.
It's
happen.
awakening. By the way,
Awakening.
you messed it up.
Well, that's because I think of words as words. See,
Sure.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
just
gonna get fucked
invent
up by a
tongues,
lot of
just
this
do
You're
this
really
stuff.
going to have a hard
Yeah.
time. I was going to say, this is going to fucking
They're going to
suck.
invent some
I'm
words.
so used to reading
Great-
Eli's scripts. Like
the
I just
Great
lied
Awakening.
over this.
That's fair. No,
Yeah,
that's okay.
what's awesome is there's no line underneath it. So awakening is a word, evidently.
Awakening. Jesus. Fuck me, awakening.
My spell check has a line under it.
My
God
line
damn
has
it.
a line under it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this
all
one
right.
does it.
This one
You
does
probably shut up your dictionary. That sounds like you see. So you're the kind of person to be like, add
I
to
have to, because if
dictionary.
not, the entire screen's red after you get done with the script.
Mine just shimmers when I read one of his.
That's right. Yeah. It's like getting a migraine, the coworker.
That's like an aura. It's
Yeah.
an Eli aura. And now, as then, the Republican Party seems to have little understanding about what to do. Most alarming of all, the very moral foundations of our society are in peril. Why do I agree with certain sentences here? Like a lot.
Well, okay, but the moral foundations of our society are white supremacy and sexism. So, good.
Yeah.
Yet, students of history will note that notwithstanding all those challenges, the late 1970s proved to be the moment when the political right unified itself and the country and led the United States to historic political, economic, and global victory.
Yeah. And Gen Z, don't worry. That economic victory will trickle down eventually. It's kind of like a tar drip.
Yeah, it's
situation.
MC Escher economics. It's going to go great.
Yeah,
Eventually it'll
astronomics.
work.
Yeah.
Astronomics, yeah.
The Heritage Foundation is proud to have played a small but pivotal role in that story. It was in early 1979, amid stagflation, gas lines, and the Red Army's invasion of Afghanistan, the nadir of Jimmy Carter's days of malaise.
That's really starting to sound like a gastropub menu. It's like, I'll have a Jimmy Carter's nadir with a side of malaise.
A little melancholy flower in there.
Days of Thunder is way better. It's way better.
That's over Buffalo Wild Wings.
That heritage launched the foundation for That heritage launched the Mandate for Leadership Project. We brought together hundreds of conservative scholars and academics across the conservative movement. Together, this team created a 20-volume, 3,000-page... Okay, yeah, we'll read that, buddy. Governing handbook containing more than 2,000 conservative policies to a page and a half per policy.
That's is what I thought about the entire time I was reading this paragraph. Thank you, Tom.
To reform the federal government and rescue the American people from Washingtonian dysfunction. It was a promise from the conservative movement to the country. Confident, specific, and clear.
Specific is three. Sorry.
Glistening. Erect.
Throbbing.
Turgid, Thomas.
Bouncing in tune with your heartbeat. Here it comes. Mandate for Leadership was published in January 1981, the same month Ronald Reagan was sworn into his presidency. By the end of that year, more than 60% of its recommendations had become policy, and Reagan was on his way to ending stagflation, reviving American confidence and prosperity, and winning the Cold War.
My God. We wrote down all the stuff he said he'd do, and he did some of it. Go on.
USA. USA.
The bad news today is that our political establishment and cultural elite have once again driven America toward decline. The good news is that we know the way out, even though the challenges today are not what they were in the 1970s. Conservatives should be confident that we can rescue our kids, reclaim our culture, revive our economy, and defeat the anti-American left at home and abroad. We did it before, and we will do it again. As Ronald Reagan put it,
shit in one hand and wish in the other. That's my economic policy. That's the entire thing.
Yeah, you have to make it sound folksier. So just say well at the beginning. Well.
Call me old-fashioned. I have shit in my hand.
Don't Google my signature.
Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation away from extinction. Again, I'm finding myself agreeing here, like hard agree. It is not ours by way of inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. This is the duty history has put before us. Duty. It's in your hand.
Well, the other one's full of wishes, so yeah.
I wish I didn't have this shit in my hand. What am I supposed to do now? And the standard by which our generation of conservatives will be judged. And we should not want it any other way.
So let's get out there and inhibit black people voting so we can take the rights away from women.
It's kind of a giveaway that your definition of freedom is controlling other people when it can be destroyed forever in a single generation by people gaining rights, huh? Like, why would it be destroyed forever if it wasn't people gaining rights?
The legacy of Mandate for Leadership, and indeed of the entire Reagan Revolution, is that if conservatives want to save the country, we need a bold and courageous plan. This book is the first step in that plan.
All right, so this is in all caps. Tom is not going to shout it. Go ahead.
Now I don't know how to read something that's all caps.
Wow.
Comedy, soul.
Man.
Now,
Don't Eli's going to do this reading. Line skinnily.
I'm sorry. I just didn't want...
conservative promise. Now I have to do it.
I was trying to avoid something. Anyway, keep going, Tom.
This volume, The Conservative Promise, is the opening salvo.
Hey,
of the
Tom, just before you set up that bit, I just want to let you know that appears in this document a lot.
Yeah, man, you should have read beforehand.
By page 23, I'm just croaking out the last
You're like fucking Noah after he went to a Jaguars game. You don't have a voice anymore.
Yeah, I have a real hard time being loud, see, so that's something new about me. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Is the opening salvo of the 2025 presidential transition project launched by the Heritage Foundation and our many evil partners in April 2022.
Webster's dictionary defines presidential transition as, well, way different than Donald Trump seems to understand it. We wrote a thing, I guess. Do something.
Amazing.
Its 30 tedious chapters lay out hundreds of clear and concrete policy recommendations for White House offices, cabinet departments, Congress and agencies, commissions, and boards.
Okay, I just peeked behind the scenes. For some reason, Grammar Check is telling me that I should turn presidential in that last paragraph to pres-identical. P-R-E-S. That's not even a fucking word. It's as though the algorithm is rejecting this bullshit. They're like, that can't be presidential. No.
Pres-identical, really great movie about twins. One who's the real twin.
Yes. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Kevin Hart.
And Kevin Hart. Yeah. Step ahead, Eli.
Right there with you, baby. We're live now. They can't stop us. Back and forth. Do a 6-beat.
Just as important as the scope. No, I'm going to go.
Yeah, they can stop you.
Yeah.
They can stop you.
You've got to stop
We
the
have an
button,
Ian.
right?
We can
Yeah.
stop you.
Yeah,
Ian's
Ian
been
just muted
asleep
us.
this whole time.
Ian's
He has-
Ian left. He's taking care of his
Yeah.
baby right now.
Which one?
The ending.
Just as important as the scope of the conservative. Okay, I'm not
No,
doing
don't
the
do that.
conservative promises recommendations is the breadth of its authorship. This book is the product of more than 400 scholars and policy experts from across the conservative movement and around the country.
None of whom Donald Trump has ever met or heard of, ever.
Donald Trump is not standing right behind me dictating right now. That's not and he has the normal amount of flop sweat is what he's just regular type.
Contributors include former elected officials, world-renowned economists, Darth Vader, and veterans from 4 presidential administrations. This is an agenda prepared by and for conservatives who will be ready on day 1 of the next administration to save our country from the brink of disaster.
And to pick it up and put it more firmly in the disaster part.
It
was on the brink. I had to move.
dig it down in.
I know this is such a tiny quibble with that paragraph, but being part of a presidential administration doesn't really have the same ring post that group of people, including, Michael Cohen and a guy who called himself the Mooch, right?
The Heritage Foundation is once again facilitating this work. But as our dozens of partners and hundreds of authors will attest, this book is the work of the entire conservative movement.
Yes. In other words, it would be a practical impossibility to disavow this document while running as that fucking damn party standard bearer, huh?
Also, the flop sweat smells normal. It doesn't smell like old lettuce at all. That's
Old
a myth.
lettuce. As such, the authors express consensus recommendations already forged, along with 4 broad fronts that will decide America's future in the fires of Mount Doom. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people, since there will be no government after that. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats.
Okay, could you not put the directly conflicting ones next to each other like
Right?
that?
Right now, it's one of those logic puzzles, right? Where you have to
Yeah,
go
right. You
back
have to
through
eliminate
and
the
chart
uncle.
it
The uncle
out, right?
can't
And then
be
where's the
the
blank?
physician. Yeah.
Women can't be doctors.
Well, not for much longer.
You sound crazy.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
And secure our God-given individual rights to live freely, what our Constitution calls the blessings of liberty.
Right. Unless we define those freedoms as an attack on family or children, then we shall do the opposite.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
What makes these 4 pieces of the conservative promise so valuable to the next president is that they cut through superficial distractions and focus on the moral and foundational challenges America faces in this moment of history.
Yeah, no superficial distractions. We're going to focus on, very importantly, the chromosomes of the people reading children's books in public libraries as it relates to their clothing, meat and potatoes policy.
A little something for the everyman.
This was one of the secrets of conservatives' success in the Reagan era, and one our generation should emulate.
Oh, look at the policies, Donnie. Shiny new policies. We did your homework for you, buddy. Huh?
As in the late 1970s, Americans today experience the failures of political and cultural elites in countless ways.
Countless? I mean, 920 pages or 3,000, that's a lot. I wouldn't call it countless.
Counted
In
at the beginning.
in the job market, and in the grocery store checkout lines, on the streets and in our schools, in the media, and within our institutions. But in truth, these daily dysfunctions are not innumerable problems, but innumerable manifestations of a few core crises.
Okay, I just want to nip this in the bud right now. They keep demonizing political and cultural elites in this thing while bragging about how many hundreds of political and cultural elites wrote their fucking thing.
In 1979, the threats we faced were the Soviet Union, the socialism of 1970s liberals, and the predatory deviancy of cultural elites. Reagan defeated these beasts by ignoring their tentacles and striking instead at their hearts.
That's real, by the way. That's not Tom doing like,
God.
it's not what he did.
Jeez, hyperbole much? Jesus Christ. Let's write the most florid document we can possibly do.
Kevin would agree to fight us. I just want to say that if we did it in a public enough forum, Kevin would agree to fist fight us.
I am on board. His approach to the Cold War: we win and they lose.
The old "I'm rubber, you're glue" approach, huh? That's bold. Bold strategy.
Who's got a different approach to wars?
What if we tie? Hear me out. Hear me out.
Maybe you heard of Vietnam, Tom. We had a very different approach to war.
Actually, America's got a very different approach to a lot of our wars.
Yeah.
His economic agenda: the human dignity of work and its many rewards.
The sweat from our brows, that's how we won the Cold War. You did
kept
the
us
problem.
Bootstraps. Our bootstraps.
Moxie.
His
Weaponized Moxie,
Moxie.
motherfuckers.
Yeah,
USA.
man.
His platform in the culture wars: the community of values embodied in these words: family, work, neighborhood, peace, and freedom.
Right, which is why everyone is more culturally conservative today than they were in the 1970s. Everybody, they won. Yeah, exactly.
This book and Project 2025 as a whole will arm the next conservative president with the same kind of strategic clarity, but for a new and worse age.
All right. Looks like it's time for us to take a break from this riveting tale of conservative utopian hellscape. Let's see where the numbers are. Ian, what do you got for us?
We are shy of 30K by a couple.
Holy
$100.
shit!
So it's pretty amazing already.
We're making more
Made
than
the match.
$1,000 a
We
minute.
made the match,
that's right.
everybody. We got to keep donating, though. That's
Holy
very,
Donating, we're very close to that 30K number. Go ahead.
very
Holy
important.
shit.
Very important.
Great job.
Okay, that was amazing. Before we jump
Wait,
back.
30K, almost 30K plus the match?
Yeah,
Plus
the
the
match,
match.
the match
Yeah,
has still
right.
got to come in. So, by the way,
Fuck
here's
yeah.
the announcement to all the people who are matchers. Now's your opportunity. Feel free
Go
to
ahead and
donate.
match.
Yeah,
You've
you
been
can put
matched.
anything in, they're
So
amazing.
feel free.
Hot damn.
Can
That's
we get
great stuff.
invited
A lot of
to
people
a
say
dinner
money
or
doesn't buy
something?
happiness, but it does.
Fuck
It
you,
does. Right now,
Eli.
I'm so happy.
No, because if we were just a guy who wrote a check, I feel like I'd get to meet Cory Booker, right? I just want to be clear. I expect a kickback. I don't want to go upstairs to my sad house full of pug fur and not get a call from someone.
Have we not learned our
important.
lesson about charities and expensive dinners,
Yeah,
Eli?
I think we really
Maybe,
want to stay
you
away
know,
from this
let's-
match.
We never got an expensive dinner. I would have loved an expensive dinner. We were promised.
Eli, if you want, just some FaceTime with a New Jersey politician, I feel like you could write a check and see Bob Menendez. I feel like you could.
I already did that. He's in the cell next to me.
Just
and
bring him a couple of Krugerrands.
Yeah, no shit. Here's your pirate treasure, Senator.
As soon as my
Please
cash
put
for
this in your
gold
freezer like normal
settlement
people do.
comes in, me and Bob are going to sit down and have a talk about the way he runs this state. I'll tell you.
Amazing. All right. Okay. Before we jump back in, turns out we actually won't be reading alone tonight. It turns out that thanks to Ian's exemplary work, which is the only time that's ever happened, over at Trump Tower, we've got a microphone in Donald's private office, and Trump and his band of cronies are checking out Project 2025. So why don't we cut over to their feed and see how they're doing? There we go.
Click.
All right. G7? No, Jameis.
I'm telling you guys, this is a terrible way to find the clitoris.
I know
Terrible.
we've tried everything else, Sarah. I don't know what to do.
Fair. Okay.
Mr. Trump.
Tyler, T-Dog. What's up, big guy? How you doing?
Right. So, Melania, Sarah, Mr. Trump, you guys remember me telling you that JD Vance was going to come by today and explain the whole Project 2025 thing for you? Well, he's here.
Hi. Hand squeeze, hand squeeze.
No, JD, we talked about this. You don't say hand squeeze. You just put your hand out.
Like this?
No.
Like this, then.
Why would it be? We'll work on it later. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah, sure. But do we need to do anything? Like tape the couch closed? I don't want to get interrupted by a hump fest. I feel like we should tape it closed.
Speak for yourself, girlfriend. I mean, I'm right here, Melania. You're fucking Laura Loomer, okay? She's right. I am fucking Laura
Okay.
Loomer.
Okay. You know what? Let's just
So
let's
am I.
get started.
I'm fucking the only person
What's
you don't
fucking?
have to feel bad for. Fucking Donald Trump.
Is fucking part of the hand squeeze?
If you're alone.
Sure is. Sure is, JD. Sure is.
Oh, God.
All right.
All right, give me a second. I'm going to take off my Sarah Huckabee costume.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's extensive. He has a
It'll
lot of
take Ian a
prosthetics
while to
remove,
finally
yeah.
get the picture down anyway. So there we go. There it is. All right.
Poor Ian.
And we are back. When we left off, the Heritage Foundation dug an old survival knife with a compass in the stock out of their junk drawer to take on all the surviving commie pinkos. What else do they have planned, Tom?
Promise number 1. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children.
Okay, can a white paper bag be yelling in the middle of traffic? I feel like this white paper is yelling in the middle of traffic.
Genuine. Like, sir, this is a Wendy's fits after every sentence. It
really does. Really does.
The next conservative president must get to work pursuing the true priority of politics, the well-being of the American family.
By making some of those families illegal. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta.
In many ways, the entire point of centralizing political power is to subvert the family.
Yeah, for crazy people who think families are about power, yes, that is right. Yeah.
Its purpose is to replace people's natural loves and loyalties with unnatural ones. You see this in the popular left-wing aphorism, government is simply the name we give to the things we choose to do together.
Oh, yeah, no, that popular left-wing aphorism none of us have ever heard.
Who says that?
But in real life, most of the things people do together have nothing to do with government.
My family never made a road by ourselves. Shut the whole government down. That's not a family activity. What?
I will make up a quote and then misunderstand it.
It's like they're getting beat up by a straw man right now.
These are the mediating institutions that serve as the building blocks of any healthy society. Marriage, period. Family, period. Work, period. Church, period. School, period. Volunteering, also period. The name real people give to the things we do together is community, not government. Our lives are full of interwoven, overlapping communities, and our individual and collective happiness depends upon them. But the most important community in each of our lives and the life of the nation is the family.
Hey, Kevin, sorry, real quick. You accidentally let it slip in that last paragraph that you think there are real people and therefore implied that you think there are not real people. Do you want to go back on that, or did you just want to...
You're not real.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Implied.
No notes from normies.
I feel like he just killed his editor. He just killed his editor right there.
Today, the American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers, including more than 70% of black children. There is no government program that can replace the hole in a child's soul cut out by the absence of a father.
Being unmarried doesn't mean you're fatherless, you fucking hack. Come on, man.
Fatherlessness is one of the principal sources of American poverty, crime, mental illness, teen suicide, substance abuse, rejection of the church, and high school dropouts.
That's right. 3 equally important issues: teen suicide, substance abuse, and the rejection of this guy's church.
Kevin, maybe stay away from listing stuff. It's a confusing concept. You're going to have to get things to be together, and it's going badly for you every time.
My list includes some black people. Should I point it out?
Okay.
Should I be also black people? Does that strengthen my argument?
I don't know how to talk to you.
Hey, whenever you hear us doing that on the podcast, that's what we're doing. Just so you know, that's what we're doing behind the scenes.
So many of the problems government programs are designed to solve, but can't, are ultimately problems created by the crisis of marriage and the family. The world has never seen a thriving, healthy, free, and prosperous society where most children grow up without their married parents. If current trends continue, we are heading towards social implosion.
Well, we are, but only because your idiocy is boiling over.
Furthermore, the next conservative president,
who may or may not be on his 4th marriage at that point,
must
I know, right? He's
like, do you not hear you?
Changes mistresses like he changes coats. Are you fucking kidding me?
How many kids with how many? Okay. Must understand that using government alone to respond to symptoms of the family crisis is a dead end. Federal power must instead be wielded to reverse the crisis and rescue America's kids from familial breakdown. The conservative promise includes dozens of specific policies to accomplish this existential task.
And hear me out. Here it is. We give as much governmental help as we can to the richest people, and that will eventually trickle down. What do you think? Huh?
Yeah, right. Anyway, here's how our freedom for small government will enforce a narrow definition of family on you.
Yeah.
Freedom first.
Some are obvious and long-standing goals, like eliminating marriage penalties in federal welfare programs and the tax code and installing work requirements for food stamps. But we must go evilly further.
We need work requirements for air consumption. Who's behind it? Come on, let's do this.
It's time for policymakers to elevate family authority, formation, and cohesion as their top priority, and even use government power, including through the tax code, to restore the American family.
Okay, imagine thinking that it's obvious that there are conditions under which some people should starve to death.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I feel like I'm reading one right now.
Yeah,
Bravo.
would
With
be
certain
okay.
starvation.
Bravo.
This marriage really isn't working out, but the tax break I'm getting, I'm going
Well, they
to
eliminated the penalty. Is
Yeah.
what really the marriage penalty.
It's just the bottom line is good. You know, I'm just going to cheat.
I'm
I'll
gonna
stick
start
around when I'm gonna
breeding
cheat. That's right.
And be really bad at
Yeah,
my
I know.
marriage. Yeah.
It's called
I'm just gonna ignore
polyamory, Tom.
Today, the left is threatening the tax-exempt status of churches and charities that reject woke progressivism.
Oh, I wish, Kevin. Say it
They will
slower.
soon turn to Christian schools and clubs with the same totalitarian intent.
And then what are they going to do, Poppy?
What are these jackbooted atheists gonna dominate you?
If only we controlled all the institutions of power. Okay. The next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture warriors. This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, again, and piece of legislation that exists.
Okay, your proposed legislation just said all those terms.
Also, Kev, I don't think all folks are created samesies has the same ring to it. So
Okay, so let's avoid any superficial distractions regarding national policy. Tom, what does it say about porn?
I'm glad.
Here we go, guys.
Pornography manifested today in the
Okay.
omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology and sexualization of children, for instance.
That's not what pornography is, and you should talk to somebody, dude.
Yeah,
Mark
Chris
Robinson.
Hansen. You should talk to Chris Hansen. Also, learn what omnipresent means.
is the pornography behind me right now?
It is.
By
It is.
definition,
It
it must be.
Fair enough, Eli. Fair enough.
Pornography is not a political Gordian knot inextricably binding up disparate claims about free speech, property rights, sexual liberation, and child welfare.
Who wrote this, Heidegger? Just say you don't like trans people, man. It's fewer words.
Pornography has no claim to First Amendment protection. Its purveyors are child predators and misogynistic exploiters of women.
Yeah, we know how much conservatives hate exploiting women. So that's good that they have that in there.
Their product, which I love, is as addictive as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. Pornography, delicious, wonderful, sexual pornography, yum, 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 should be outlawed.
Hey, okay, let's test it out, Project 2025. You do porn at me, and I'll do any crime I want at you. We'll see how it goes. For that.
The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classed as registered sex offenders, and telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate its spread should be shuttered.
Well, and if you're listening along and you're thinking to yourself, well, librarians and educators don't purvey porn, you've just stumbled on how loose a definition they want to slap onto the thing they intend to
Exactly.
imprison people for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, I know it said this already, but if the existence of trans people is porn for you, that is definitely not trans people's problem.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah. They're making it the problem. Right?
Shouldn't.
In our schools, the question of parental authority over their children's education is a simple one. Schools serve parents, not the other way around. That is, of course, the best argument for universal school choice, a goal all conservatives and conservative presidents must pursue.
We already have that.
We do
You
have
can
that. You are
do
actually
that
allowed to
if
send
you
your
want.
kid wherever you want for school.
You can just do it.
But we haven't destroyed public schools
Yeah,
first.
right.
That's how you
That's
get.
that's
Yeah.
the key.
That
But
makes
even
the choice
before we
universal,
do
you
that-
see.
But even before we achieve that long-term goal, parents' rights as their children's primary educators, horrible, should be non-negotiable in American schools. States, cities, and counties, school boards, union bosses, principals, and teachers who disagree should be immediately cut off from federal funds.
Okay, hot take. Nobody who's ever said the sentence, "You work for me," has been the good guy in that situation. That's my
Hey, is the white paper about to yell about their expired coupon to a manager? It feels like that's
yeah.
it's about to happen right now.
The noxious tenets of critical race theory and gender ideology should be excised from curricula in every public school in the country. These theories poison our children, who are being taught, on the one hand, to affirm that the color of their skin fundamentally determines their identity and even their moral status, while on the other they are taught to deny the very creatureliness that
What?
inheres in being human and consists in accepting the givenness of our nature as men or women.
The degree to which this guy has to just make up fucking words to express his thoughts is a real testament to just how wrong they are, isn't it?
It's like Martin Luther
You
King
don't even have
once.
words to express how dumb you are.
It's like Martin Luther King once said, "Let not the color of a man's skin be the judgment of his character, but whether or not he has a dick."
Let a man's foreskin be the judgment.
Cheers.
Allowing parents or physicians to reassign the sex of a minor is child abuse and must end.
Check.
For public institutions to use taxpayer dollars to declare the superiority or inferiority of certain races, sexes, and religions is a violation of the Constitution and civil rights law and cannot be tolerated by any government anywhere in the country. But the pro-family promises expressed in this book and central to the next conservative president's agenda must go further than the traditional narrow-minded definition of family issues. Every threat to family stability must be confronted.
The next president must make it illegal for her to make you go to brunch with her friends.
And no doing that grown-up playdate thing at all. You can't just make us go to, unless the guy's really cool and plays pickleball. Raj is awesome, but otherwise, no.
And if something happened at work to someone, don't make me tell you the whole story. I already told you everything I know.
This resolve should color, each of our policies. Consider our approach to big tech. The worst of these companies prey on children, like drug dealers, to get them addicted to their mobile apps. Many Silicon Valley executives famously don't let their own kids have smartphones. They nevertheless make billions of dollars addicting other people's children to theirs. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms are specifically designed to create the digital dependencies that fuel mental illness and anxiety, to fray children's bonds with their parents and siblings.
I like that they refused to call it X. They were like, fuck you, it's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's Twitter.
Federal policy cannot allow this industrial-scale child abuse to continue.
Small government, freedom, anti-regular. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I was on the other side of the hypocrisy still. I didn't make it. My bad. I'm fucking rolled up.
I'm as in favor of de-Skinner boxing technology as the next guy, but you know who I absolutely do not trust to make the laws enforcing that?
No shit.
Yeah. Republicans.
No shit, man.
Yeah. Hey, Republicans, above nothing. How's your Truth Social stock doing right now? Is it going great?
God, I love that so much.
Or not so much?
You do
Let
get
me
a free
check.
Trump
I'm
NFT with
checking.
each purchase. So.
You could get a share for about the same price as a Whopper meal at Burger King right now. I'm not even kidding. A Whopper
you're
meal
right,
at Burger
exactly
King is about
Yeah,
$14.
About $14.
$13.55
We're a
last I
You
checked.
can't supersize it though.
You sure can't, no.
Thanks, Biden.
Finally, conservatives should gratefully celebrate the greatest pro-family win in a generation. Overturning Roe v. Wade, a decision that for 5 decades made a mockery of our Constitution and facilitated the deaths of tens of millions of unborn children.
Heaven, it's just fucking lousy with little blobs of cum and blood. It's really fucking up the vibes for the people there. And then you gotta.
Shit.
Do you want to send the kids to hell, maybe? Because it's really just bringing us. It's a real bummer. It's a
Don't
real
pop
bummer.
it. Don't pop it. Don't pop it. Shit, he popped it.
Fucking jellyfish everywhere up here. But the Dobbs decision is just the beginning. Conservatives in the states and in Washington, including in the next conservative administration, should push as hard as possible to protect the unborn in every jurisdiction in America. In particular, the next conservative president should work with Congress to enact the most robust protections for the unborn that Congress will support while deploying existing federal powers to protect innocent life and vigorously complying with statutory bans on the federal funding of abortion. Conservatives should ardently pursue these pro-life and pro-family policies while recognizing the many women who find themselves in immensely difficult and often tragic situations and saying fuck you to those ladies and every choice they make to become a mother. Alternative options to abortion, especially adoption, should receive federal and state support.
You know, you're right, fact checkers. Nowhere in that paragraph is the word ban. Just 30 words you would see in the thesaurus when you look up the word ban. Yeah.
Also, Kevin, you opened with cutting the social safety net. What alternatives to adoption did you have in mind? Selling the baby at market price?
I think they will do a lot of praying, Eli, that you're discounting out of
I didn't think
hand.
of the praying.
In summary, the next evil president has a moral responsibility to lead the nation in restoring a culture of life in America again. All caps, promise number 2, dismantle
Electric Boogaloo.
dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people.
Yeah, now that we're done talking about the laws we want to make over other people's bodies and the government we want to enforce those laws, let us tell us about how much we aren't those things. Shit. Ah!
Of course, the surest way to put the federal government back to work for the American people is to reduce its size and scope back to something resembling the original constitutional intent.
It's not to ensure everybody has a vote. That's so weird. I would have thought,
It's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that.
That was the opposite of the original Constitution.
yeah.
Conservatives desire a smaller government, not for its own sake, but for the sake of human flourishing. But the Washington establishment doesn't want a constitutionally limited government because it means they lose power and are held more accountable by the people who put them into power.
We don't want a big government. We just want one that can like monitor everyone's periods. Is that
That's
the right size?
We wrote a nice, succinct 920-page manifesto on how to do small government. And this is the introduction to that I am writing right now in this now. Go.
All the fucking bears in Connecticut or whatever are voting for this right now. Like restoring popular sovereignty, the task of reattaching the federal government's constitutional and democratic tethers calls to mind Ronald Reagan's observation that there are no easy answers, but there are simple answers.
Hey, Kevin, do you need a minute to jerk off to some old episodes of General Electric Theater or something? We wait.
Okay, so unlike we're gonna make women baby slaves, this lie requires more falutin language, but we promise it's the same bullshit. Yeah.
In the case of making the federal government smaller, more effective, and accountable, the simple answer is the Constitution itself.
We have to steal the Declaration of Independence.
I would pay a lot
Oh my
to have
god.
Nick Cage act out this whole thing too.
Oh my god, dramatic reading of this by Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
I think Tom's doing a great job as the like movie teaser voice too. I like how long it's that guy's got to get exhausted, but you can't do like a 19-page teaser. But here we are.
here we go. Yeah, I thought I'd transition to a
Maybe
different voice, but I haven't.
Walking?
Okay, now it's all still in the time place.
I feel like walking would be good.
The surest proof of this is how strenuously and creatively generations of progressives and many Republican insiders have worked to cut themselves free from the strictures of the 1789 Constitution and subsequent amendments. Consider the federal budget, or the lobster. Under current law, whatever, it's an infinite jest. Under current law, Congress is required to pass a budget and 12 issue specific spending bills comporting with it every single year. The last time Congress did so was in 1996 under Democratic leadership. Congress no longer meaningfully budgets, authorizes, or categorizes spending. Instead, party leaders negotiate one multi-trillion-dollar spending bill, several thousand pages long, and then vote on it before anyone literally has had a chance to read it. Debate time is restricted. Amendments are prohibited. And all of this is backed up against a midnight deadline when the previous omnibus spending bill will run out and the federal government shuts down.
Well, and then they put all that stuff back into the intestinal lining.
That's how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, man, the budget is a bloated and time-consuming process. Did you want us to go over it with Cletus line by line, or would you like the country to have money this century?
Hey, no, I was just going over it. I found $20 billion, one line. It just says wall next to it. I found something there.
Yeah, but I
right?
think Mexico's paying for that.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
I thought,
exactly.
yeah.
It's
I thought they were, but right, here it is.
This process is not designed to empower 330 million American citizens or allow most of them to vote and their elected representatives, but rather to empower the party elites secretly negotiating without any public scrutiny or oversight.
Oh, you want to do the Cletus thing? Okay, asked and answered. Thank you, Kevin. You know what? I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to Kevin.
In the end, congressional leaders' behavior and incentives here are no different from those of global elites insulating policy decisions over the climate, trade, public health, you name it, from the sovereignty of national electorates. Public scrutiny and democratic accountability make life harder for policymakers, so they skirt it. It's not dysfunction, it's corruption.
Sounds like they tagged Cletus to be the nonpartisan Supreme Court watchdog, too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love that they keep describing Donald Trump and then have to be like, oh, fuck.
Not
it's
this guy, a
you.
different
Other guy.
thing,
That's
a worse.
Darn it. Not
Jewish,
other
though,
people.
but Jewish. Picture it Jewish. That's where the real harm comes from.
And despite its gaudy price tag, the federal budget is not even close to the worst example of this corruption. That distinction belongs to the administrative state, the dismantling of which must be a top priority for the next conservative president.
Well, except the parts that we need to enforce the narrow definition of family that we were talking about earlier, and the ones that are going to ban all the porn. Other than that,
Okay, time out, big government. Okay, back to small now. Back to time in.
right.
It's like the clapper. You just clap big government on,
Exactly.
clap it off.
Hey, Alexa, turn on small government.
You woke up my glasses, Tom. My glasses are talking to me. We're live on air. My glasses are talking to me. They have an AI in them that's talking about big government right now. It's not stopping.
Hey Siri, play Smash Mouth All
Stop
Star.
it! Stop! Why does it? Oh, it works with everything. It works with. It just answers to all the names. Fucking, I am Legion up in my glasses right now.
Hey, Alexa,
Stop it!
play Eli's search history.
I'm so
We're
thank
gonna
God I
get
can't do
kicked
that.
off
Okay, you know what? I think we should ban porn. I agree with you.
Yeah.
After seeing that, we definitely need to ban porn.
A lot of feet, man.
It's the friendliest kink. I refuse to be shamed.
Okay, fair enough.
The term administrative state refers to the policymaking work done by the bureaucracies of all the federal government's departments, agencies, and millions of employees. Under Article 1 of the Constitution, quote, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives,
Cool.
end quote.
Thanks.
Okay. That is, federal law is enacted only by elected legislators in both houses of Congress.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. If Trump wins and he follows this guy's directions, you can look forward to your congressman deciding what is and is not clean water.
Feels like this is about to start doing the lyrics to "I'm Just a Bill" on.
Yeah,
Capitol
thank you.
Hill.
This is very
Yeah,
Schoolhouse
really
Rock.
feels like that.
This exclusive authority was part of the framers' doctrine of separated powers. They not only split the federal government's legislative, executive, and judicial powers into different branches, they also gave each, that was a period at the end of that. It's not a sentence. They didn't sentence. They also gave each branch checks over the others. Under our Constitution, the legislative branch, Congress, is far and away the most powerful and correspondingly the most accountable to the people.
Okay, well, now it sounds like the bill from This Is Only a Bill is going to ask if it's being detained, right?
I mean, normally we'd have to let them go, but they used all caps when they wanted to yell.
Right.
That's how they
But
get
they
you.
were
Not a
travelers.
sovereign citizen.
Gotta let 'em go.
technically.
Gotta let 'em
You gotta
go.
say you're traveling. You gotta say
Yep, you're a
You
traveler.
got to put
traveling.
fringes on your
Yep.
document when you print it out.
God damn.
Just tell the
Sorry.
cop you're a time lord. It works every time.
Right.
I don't have to roll down my window.
I don't understand anything. I watch those videos on YouTube all the time. I watch way too
Amazing.
many of those videos.
My dad watches those videos. He gets a kick out of them
I
just
think me
watching.
and your dad would get along.
I
We
love
both
watching those
watching
people
those
get
guys
tased.
get beat
It's
up.
amazing.
We both don't like you. I like you way more than your dad does. I feel
No,
bad.
that's not all the way true. In recent
It's
decades,
mostly
I've listened to your podcast.
In recent decades, members of the House and Senate discovered that if they give away that power to the Article 2 branch of government, they can also deny responsibility for its actions. So today in Washington, most policy is no longer set by Congress at all, but by the administrative state. Given the choice between being powerful but vulnerable, or irrelevant but famous, most members of Congress have chosen the latter.
Yeah, which is evident by the number of Congress people you can count on one hand that you know by name.
Right. Yeah.
I actually think they made Marjorie Taylor Greene put irrelevant but famous on her door in Congress. Just so that it was a warning. I remember.
Congress passes intentionally vague laws that delegate decision-making over a given issue to a federal agency. That agency's bureaucrats, not just unelected, but seemingly unfireable, then leap at the chance to fill the vacuum created by Congress's preening cowardice. The federal
Settle down.
Jesus
Settle
Christ,
down,
this
man.
is so much, my guy. The federal government is growing larger and less constitutionally
So is
accountable,
Leon.
even to the president, year by year.
So I'm sorry, is the next action item that Congress needs to grow a pair?
Yeah, that's item 4.
By the way, speaking of unfireable, I can think of like 6 people in robes I'd love to deal with. As soon as
We're live, Heath. We are live.
Eli lives
Deal with
really
means
close.
fire.
Means
That's not a
fire.
euphemism.
Means
Very-
fire.
Not fire
Keep
at
reading, Tom.
fire. Yes.
Keep
I meant
reading.
A
flamethrower.
reading, Tom.
combination, a combination of elected and unelected bureaucrats at the Environmental
I hope
Protection
they
Agency
die.
quietly strangles domestic energy production through difficult to understand by morons rulemaking
Yeah,
processes.
right. No, everything's difficult to understand if you're dumb enough.
Also, you know what I'd
That's
like
such a
to
good
quietly
joke.
strangle?
Eli, got it.
Bureaucrats at
Wink.
the Department of Homeland Security, following the lead of a feckless administration,
Jesus Christ, settle
order
down.
order
There's
border
13 pages left to go, see, so we got to do some space work.
order border and immigration enforcement agencies to help migrants criminally enter our country with impunity.
Oh, how dare immigration enforcement help people immigrate?
Okay. Normally, white replacement theory is a crazy conspiracy theory, but in this case, I would like to replace us.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's great. I want to take one
Yeah,
for the team.
man.
Bureaucrats at the Department of Education inject racist, anti-American, ahistorical propaganda into American classrooms.
Yeah, that's called the Bible. That's the Bible. That's
Yeah, yeah, right, right. The thing they're doom crying about is called reality.
When you're being persecuted by reality, it's fun for me.
Bureaucrats at the Department of Justice force school districts to undermine girls' sports and parents' rights to satisfy transgender extremists.
Okay, so I'm just keeping my little list here. Rights of immigrants, meh. Rights of female athletes, paramount. Okay, I'm just trying to keep this straight here.
Top of the list. Top of the list.
Woke bureaucrats at the Pentagon force troops to attend training seminars about white privilege. And bureaucrats at the State Department infuse U.S. foreign aid programs with woke extremism about intersectionality and abortion.
And by the way, listeners, intersectionality is in scare quotes, right? Because how can it be 7 syllables unless it's liberal bullshit?
You give me one example of how the U.S. foreign aid program would need to know about other cultures. stupid.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Okay, when the Pentagon does the training seminars about white privilege, I feel like some troops show up and they're like, what the fuck? This is like the opposite of what I thought this seminar was going to be about.
Here to be
Fuck.
a white supremacist murder force. That's why we have tanks.
Unaccountable federal spending is the secret lifeblood of the Great Awakening. Nearly every power center held by the left is funded or supported one way or another through the bureaucracy by Congress.
Right, but ICE is funded by fucking bottle caps and gumption. Okay, relax.
We do a spaghetti dinner once a year.
They sell poppies on the weekends.
Do you want to buy some gift wrap for ice?
Here,
Gift
have
wrap
my
for ice.
CD.
Yeah.
It's free. Actually, it's not. I'd like a donation.
I'm changing this fundraiser. I have to say something brave. I'm changing this fundraiser to gift wrap for ice. Everything you've given will be given to ice gift wrap fundraisers.
Now they're selling Lucy's. Is that
Yeah,
even
it's-
legal?
it's
What is
Lucy's, like it's legal.
Gotta murder themselves.
Colleges and school districts are funded by tax dollars.
Make college affordable. What next, commies? Food for everybody? Get out of here.
We already
The
dealt with
door's
that.
there.
The administrative state holds 100% of its power at the sufferance of Congress, and its insulation from presidential discipline is an unconstitutional fairy tale spun by the Washington establishment to protect its turf. Members of Congress shield themselves from constitutional accountability, often when the White House allows them to get away with it. Cultural institutions like public libraries and public health agencies are only as independent from public accountability as elected officials and voters will permit.
The librarians report to no one but God and themselves. It's time to take them down. Okay,
Hey, Kevin, we turned to the bad guys from Fahrenheit 451 again. You want to cut that? Maybe edit it?
the bad guys from what?
Okay, yeah, no, never mind.
Leave it in.
It's
Can
a
I
bu-
just say-
I'll explain later.
Anyone who reads this will not understand it. We're good.
Hey,
This is
did
a
we
fuck-
switch voices from earlier?
We did. We switched. Yeah, sorry.
Switch
This
back.
is
It's confusing me.
phenomenal.
I just decided to do your voice just now.
You did. I'm doing it over.
is
I'm
normal.
yes-anding. I'm yesing.
Let's be clear.
That would be a nice change. Thank you.
The most egregious regulations promulgated by the current administration come from one place: the Oval Office. The president cannot hide behind the agencies. As his many executive orders make clear, his is the responsibility for the regulations that threaten American communities, schools, and families. A conservative president must move swiftly to do away with these vast abuses of presidential power and remove the career and political bureaucrats who fuel it.
Yeah, Donald Trump curbing Donald Trump's power. Totally living that.
Yeah.
Good paragraph.
Properly considered, restoring fiscal limits and constitutional accountability to the federal government is a continuation of restoring national sovereignty to the American people. In foreign affairs, global strategy, federal budgeting, and policymaking, the same pattern emerges again and again. Ruling elites slash and tear at restrictions and accountability placed upon them. They centralize power up and away from the American people. This is so hyperbolic. I don't even know what's happening. This feels like an opera. I feel like this is an opera. It's ridiculous.
That thing you get in the program to try and make you care about the Italian you can't understand. Is just like,
I feel like I should wear this hat with like big horns or something like that.
yeah.
To
Fuck a rabbit.
supranational treaties and organizations, to left-wing experts, to sight unseen all or nothing legislating, to the unelected career bureaucrats of the administrative state.
I feel like you aren't allowed to use the word accountable if your guy has 34 felonies and his sentencing date was pushed back twice.
I know,
right?
shit.
Well, also, I love how he's trying to pull off, we want to restore the voice of the people by enacting all these policies that between 12 and 38% of Americans agree with.
Right.
Also, I know that supranatural is different than supernatural, but I don't know that Kevin knows that. So I'm definitely picturing like a werewolf treaty when he says that in that last paragraph. I'm just saying it right now. He's thinking of a werewolf treaty.
As monolithic as the left's institutional powers appear to be, they originate with appropriations from Congress and are made complete by a feckless president.
You already used feckless,
He
man.
does like feckless. A
You
conservative
get one
president.
feckless in life.
Yeah, right?
I feel like,
I feel like the more feckless you have, their freckles.
No, yeah, okay.
You can't do it.
A conservative president must look to the legislative branch for decisive action. The administrative state is not going anywhere until Congress acts to retrieve its own power from bureaucrats and the White House. But in the meantime, there are many executive tools a courageous conservative president can use to handcuff the bureaucracy, push Congress to return to its constitutional responsibility, restore power over Washington to the American people, bring the administrative state to heel, and in the process, defang and defund the woke culture warriors who have infiltrated every last institution in
Almost
America.
halfway there, Tom. Almost
I
halfway
was-
there.
Congress is on the verge of shutting down the government because they're mad at Hispanic people for being allowed to vote. Okay, returning all the important decision making to them, hard sell at the moment, guys. Jesus.
The conservative promise lays out how to use many of these tools, including how to fire supposedly unfireable federal bureaucrats,
Heath and I were talking about that
Okay.
a little bit earlier. Yeah.
A lot of great ideas.
how to shutter wasteful and corrupt bureaus and offices, how to muzzle woke propaganda at every level of government, how to restore the American people's constitutional authority over the administrative state, and how to save untold taxpayer dollars in the process.
It's called micromanaging. Maybe you've heard of it before.
Hey, Kevin, real quick.
Yeah.
Do the good guys usually ask how to muzzle things? Is that a good guy action generally?
I mean,
Muzzling?
we already used defang. I feel like we
Okay.
gotta say muzzle.
Put another feckless in there.
Have we used feckless yet? Twice.
use it
Twice?
again.
We still ain't got no fact.
Defect. Try defect.
Oh, what the feck. Finally, the president can restore public confidence and accountability to our most important government function of all, national defense, which we lack sorely here in America. The American people desire a military full of highly skilled servicemen and women who can protect the homeland and our interests overseas. The next conservative government must end the left's social experimentation with the military, restore war fighting as its sole mission, and set defeating the threat of the Chinese Communist Party as its highest priority.
Okay, so small government except the army. you want the parts that can do stuff for us to be small enough to drown in a bathtub, but the part that can kill us needs to be robust as all hell.
Time in. Army.
Yeah.
I know the other insane stuff in this document got more press, but like, it is kind of worth noting that we want to gear up and take down China is a terrifying goal to have in your white paper.
Right?
Hey, Kevin, is the word war fighting usually a good guy thing?
Is that? I don't.
Compound word?
Let's just
Call
start.
China a big pussy.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, here's my question: is war fighting a word? Or a rejected Transformer name? That's what my question is. Warfighter.
The next conservative president must possess the courage to relentlessly put the interests of the everyday American over the interests of the ruling elite. So we should hire a billionaire for that. Their outrage cannot be prevented. It must simply be ignored, and it can be. The left derives its power from the institutions they control, but those institutions are only powerful to the extent that constitutional officers surrender their own legitimate authority to them. A president who refuses to do so and uses his or her office to reimpose constitutional authority over federal policymaking can begin to correct decades of corruption and remove thousands of bureaucrats from the positions of public trust they have so long abused.
I'm sorry, Tom. My bullshit meter broke while you were reading. when they said that Trump would relentlessly put the interests of the everyday Americans over the desires of the ruling elite. So while we get
Elon Musk will help. Elon Musk.
While we get it fixed, Tom, let's take a look at the numbers. Ian, how we doing, buddy?
Pretty good. We are currently at, let me refresh it one more time.
Tell your voice.
54,000.
Ian, you bring so much energy to this program, and that's what I appreciate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is Ian here. I'm getting paid for
54,000.
this.
Okay, I'm actually a Republican.
Ian's been a Republican the whole time.
We've been making fun of Ian's writing this whole
Man.
time. He's been just hurt by it.
Man, all right, okay. Before we
Hey,
jump
we're
back,
job creators, motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. All right, so 50,
That was
Refresh.
the real Ian. Thank you, Ian.
There he
Ian
is.
was like,
Did you refresh,
okay. All right.
$54,000.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
That's great.
Keep donating.
Can we get a
Call your friends.
Can we get a sad cartoon donkey to read it next time, though?
So I want to point out that 54,000 might not include all of the matching funds
Doesn't include
quite
us
yet.
yet. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Lucinda.
Lucinda, I don't know if you checked your messages, but I'm counting on you, babe, to get it in before the deadline.
Okay. Before
I
we
was
jump
just
back
doing
in,
your okay. I
let's
thought
head over
Lucinda
to-
was supposed to manage the matching definitions.
okay, let's head over to Trump Tower, see how the gang's getting along. Ian, let's switch to that feed if you can. You don't mind, Ian.
Blah blah blah. Will of the people. Blah blah blah. Protect the children. Oh, TIE Fighter. Is this a reference to the Epstein thing?
No, sir. No, it's not.
Oh, good, because that guy was expensive to have killed. Okay?
I didn't hear that.
I said he was expensive to have killed. You got cushion stuffing in your ears?
Not in that hole, he doesn't.
Okay, everybody, calm down. So the point we're making is abortion is illegal, and then we're gonna call, sorry, and we're gonna make porn illegal, and then we're gonna call all the stuff porn, right?
Okay, like the very clearly lesbian porn I did as a model.
No, that is a celebration of the human form.
No, not these days. It's not Jailer. These days I look like Jack Skellington trying to put on his old skin without using his hands. It's a
That
family
was-
game.
so that was vivid. Thank you. But Promise 2 is talking about all the regulatory branches of the government.
Finally, I'm going to eat polonium.
No, well, sure, okay. But also like light bulbs will be cheaper, water will be dirty, whatever it is. It's going to be, whatever's good for big money and our interests.
Going to glow in the dark. It's going to be so cool.
I already do glow in the dark. It's true, she does. She does glow in the dark.
You know what? I don't want to know why. Let's just get back to it.
I mean, I kind of want to know why.
Thank you, JD. I like you, even though you fuck a couch.
I didn't.
Yeah, JD, and my bones don't glow in the dark.
Do your bones?
Stop!
All right, an opportunity for us, if we like, to take a break. Anybody? Are we ready to continue on?
I could use a break.
All right,
Let's take a quick.
we're gonna take a quick break, everybody, for maybe
Like
5 minutes or so. 3, 4, 5 minutes, something like
You
that.
could surprise us with how much you donate in the 5-minute break.
Yeah,
And then we come back, we'll
yes,
be like,
Because we're all gonna get up and go pee
"What?"
now. So, because we're all old. So, put that other thing up, Ian. We're gonna go. I don't know what there we. No, that's the wrong thing.
I'm young, but I'm also going to pee.
Did he just leave?
Ian, shut him off.
No, he left. I didn't toggle him off. Oh,
Okay, put the thing up, Ian, and we're gonna go quiet for a minute.
Okay, we'll go quiet. I'll talk.
There
to
we go.
Chat.
Going quiet, chat for a minute.
Hi, chat. Make sure you're scanning the QR code. Look, I will
Is
talk
Ian
to them.
Talking to him.
Make sure to scan the QR code located in the top left of your screen, available now, and there's also in the middle of your screen, because Humanists donate. And go ahead and get to that ActBlue account. It is also linked in the chat, pinned to the top of the chat, on YouTube at least. If you're on Twitch or Facebook, just do the scan thing. How's chat doing? Everybody, you like it? Do you like Citation Needed live in person on the internet? Hi chat. Hi chat.
Can they hear me, Ian?
They can hear you, sir.
Well, I don't want to make any sound. I don't. We should. Is it just us vamping? Just me
It's
and you?
us vamping. Yes, that's right.
Feels like a lot of pressure.
Okay, it's not. It wasn't until you started saying that.
It was.
and now
I actually
feel-
shouldn't have interrupted. I should have just sat here, knowing that you had to vamp and entertain everybody
Yes.
alone, and just listen to you squirm.
Good thing I
for 5
did.
minutes.
Yes, I.
But I'm sure you've
nothing
prepared
was-
something.
Yep.
Since exactly this moment. You gonna sing us a song?
Remember Misophonia? I did that thing that one time. I'm sorry about that. No, I did not prepare a commercial. That's the wrong brand.
What about a song? You should just sing us a song live.
I
You
shouldn't.
should take requests. A request for a song.
All right.
Ian's gonna sing us a
Oh,
song.
back.
Everybody.
I'm back.
Cecil, Ian is gonna actually sing a song
I
live.
didn't say that.
On the live stream,
Ian's
he's-
going to do a
he's good
whole
like
that.
J.D. Vance impersonation here.
Okay. I can't fuck a couch on.
Give me whatever donuts you have, whatever makes sense.
Whatever makes sense.
Whatever
That's
makes
my
sense.
favorite
Dude,
fucking thing.
I'm ordering everything from now on when I go up. I'm just gonna like
Whatever
when I go to a
makes
restaurant, they're gonna hand me a menu. I'm gonna hand the menu back to them and be like, I'll just take whatever makes
Whatever
sense.
makes sense.
Fucking amazing, dude.
There's an
So good.
amazing donut place that's nearby. I brought you those.
Yeah,
bacon
they were
donuts.
good. Those bacon donuts.
I like this donut place. They've got outstanding coffee. So they've got a really good. So
Yeah.
I stop there every once in a while
Sure.
and get a coffee. And every time I stand there, I want to be just like, when they hand me my stuff, I want to be like, okay, good.
Okay, good.
How long have you been working here?
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay, good.
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 Whatever makes sense.
God, that guy is he's such a fucking unable to have a communication
He's so
like a
awkward.
normal human being. Such a
Did you-
fraud. He's such a fraud of a person. Like just a person.
How do
Did you guys see the couch though?
How is there a
Is it
a hot
couch?
I mean, it's whatever you think. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. I like that
Does
one.
it have one of those auto
That
recliners like
one's
a
great.
fucking dirty
no,
girl?
it's got like a
Those would be
lot on it.
possible, right.
You really can choose your hole. You could have your friends over even. You could do like
Yeah.
the whole citation needed
It
cast.
could-
on
oh,
that
that's true.
couch.
1,
That's
2,
a
3,
cast
4,
couch.
5.
There you go.
That's I should take it off the screen. We're gonna
Probably
get banned
should.
from
We're gonna
that.
get- we're gonna get flagged
Yeah,
for
we're
that.
certainly okay. I'm
Like
gonna
couch,
Percent
couch
flagged.
porn?
Yep, something like
I'll
that. Yeah,
bet
it's in the
Rule
TLS.
whatever. Eli's going to tell us about it right now as he gets back in. Eli's going to tell us about couch porn. I'm sure he's
Mhm.
got some book.
Couch porn. Can they hear us?
They
They
can.
can hear us,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody can hear
Okay,
us. We're just
good.
chatting.
Always good to.
I could put some
we have
music on. If you
1,000
want
people here.
music.
Hey, folks, thanks for
There's
coming
a fucking
tonight.
1,000
Thank you guys
people.
for coming in.
amazing.
Thank you for donating. This is so important, and it's so awesome that everybody came out tonight. So thank you so much.
We have never been in front of 1,000 people live before. That's pretty fucking exciting, actually.
Yeah,
That's a
actually,
great turnout,
that's
you
true.
guys.
Yeah, that's true.
That is
I think
outstanding.
I think we did reach numbers like this when we were when we did the abortion thing.
Oh yeah, we probably
Yeah,
did. We probably did.
We reached numbers like this.
Still,
when we-
I mean,
yeah.
how fucking cool is this? There's 1,000 human
But
beings
when we did
tuned in
that,
for live citation.
when we
Needed
did
right
that,
now.
we had a bunch of other audiences too.
That's
It
right.
wasn't just like
wasn't just the five
citation
of us.
needed
Yeah.
sort of audience. So.
I have some comments here I'd like to read. They're
Wait, we
important.
just hit the 60K goal.
Hey!
Just did it. Let me take
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we
And that
just
doesn't
did it.
include our match for sure.
We haven't done it yet.
We haven't done our match yet. So
And-
I think
on that-
Lucinda just did ours. So
Mhm.
Heath's not back. Let's make fun of him until he gets back.
Go ahead, Eli. You had something to say.
Well, on that note, I was just going to
Somebody
say
is yelling for my attention. Why are they yelling for my attention on here?
they just
ahead,
want
Eli.
they want your love, they want your attention. One of the questions was, what goal do we have to hit for Tom to read the entirety of Journey to the West? Oh, that episode hasn't come out yet. Never mind. That was a TM. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
What is Journey to the West?
Journey to
again?
the West is the monkey thing he just.
Somebody's
Monkey
been
thing
playing
we haven't done
Wukong.
yet. It hasn't come up yet.
Oh yeah! Oh,
Fuck yeah.
for fun!
This
Oh, that
upcoming
fucking
week,
8
this
million page
upcoming
long
week,
thing.
we're doing Wukong.
Oh, really? You're complaining about length now, Tom?
Mhm.
Here as we stand at the midpoint.
What chapter are you on, Eli?
We're a little farther than midpoint. We
What
should be
boss
okay.
are you on,
Be
Eli?
a little.
Oh,
we're
I
gonna
got
run a little late, but we
I
won't run
watched
too
it.
late.
I made it 6 seconds into that game before I was like, this is for watching on YouTube. Thank you, Mr. MK Ice and
What
Fire.
kind of game is it, Eli?
It's a Dark Souls.
Oh, fuck that.
Sort of.
No
yeah,
thanks.
it's
Hard pass.
It's
it is
easier than
easier
Dark
than a
Souls.
I don't like
Souls, and
games like
it's
that. That's not for me. I'm too old for that
Yeah.
shit.
and it's.
It's
I
awesome.
will say it's also
It's
way
fantastic.
more fun than a Souls.
It's
Looking,
1000%.
look, way more fun looking than a Souls. He said from his chair while he watched it on YouTube.
All right, we ready? Ready to do this, guys?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
Me.
For the break, a bunch of bureaucrats are desperately trying to convince us that they super duper hate bureaucracy What kind of plan do they have for, say, defending our nation's sovereignty, Tom?
Well, they have a promise, Cecil. Promise number 3.
The third promise.
Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. The United States belongs to we the people. All government authority derives from the consent of the people, and our nation's success derives from the character of its people.
I mean, that third one's just obviously not true, right?
The American people's right to rule ourselves is the obverse of our duty. We cannot outsource to others our obligation to ensure the conditions that allow our families, local communities, churches, and synagogues and neighborhoods to thrive. The buck stops with each of us. So each of us must have the freedom to pursue the good for ourselves and those entrusted to our care.
Okay, I know what all of the words he just said mean, but I feel like I don't know what the words he said mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, here's David A.R. White and a little drummer boy to further explain. Do you hear the people sing?
To most Americans, this is common sense.
Is it?
What?
But in what this word salad gibberish. But in Washington, D.C., and other centers of leftist power like the media and the academy, this statement of basic civics is branded as hate speech. Progressive elites speak in lofty terms of openness, progress.
Oh, we speak in lofty terms? Are we the ones who are speaking in lofty terms? You said obverse.
Don't deny his creatureliness.
Yeah.
Of openness, progress, expertise, cooperation, and globalization. But too often, these terms are just rhetorical Trojan horses. Is it horses or horse eye? I feel like it should be horse eye. Concealing their true intention, stripping we, the people, of our constitutional authority over our country's future.
I love how real America excludes the government, right, elected by the people, all media, which reflect the interest of the people, and academia, all the experts among the people. America is some other thing than all of that with fucking wheat and baseball caps.
And apple fucking pie.
America's corporate and political elites do not believe in the ideals to which our nation is dedicated. Self-governance, the rule of law, and ordered liberty. They certainly do not trust the American people, and they disdain the Constitution's restrictions on their ambitions.
Okay, I mean, I didn't realize I was a corporate or political elite, but yeah, I definitely do not trust the nation that made KFC's famous bowls a bestseller. So, yeah, I'll take it, Ben. I'll take the title.
Would you like extra gravy in your slop? Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
It's a
Those
chicken
bowls are
sandwich, but the
delicious,
bread
whatever.
is more chicken.
It's like cereal, but gravy is the milk.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. I
Okay,
feel like
you
That's
had
the
me at
double
hello,
down,
Cecil.
Tom.
You
Tom
had
was
me at
describing the double down, everybody. No need to email in. It's bad here, huh?
The double down is a sandwich that turned Eli into a vegan.
It really did. He saw it.
He
He saw it. He
It's like,
ran.
No. Instead, they believe in a kind of 21st century Wilsonian order in which the enlightened, highly educated managerial elite runs things, rather than the humble, stupid, patriotic working families who make up the majority of what the elites contemptuously call flyover country.
I told you it had wheat.
Isn't Pence the flyover country?
it's amber and it waves, motherfuckers. It
Fucking
waves.
waves.
What kind of monster would want people who know things in charge of stuff? Crazy.
The Wilsonian hubris has spread. Hubris is great with crackers. Just it's delicious.
I love
Oh,
that stuff.
yeah.
Pita chips.
Roasted garlic hubris.
Outstanding.
I love
I
it.
You
love it.
sound like an
I-
elitist.
I'm a big olive tapenade hubris fan.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
Eli.
good
Little
stuff.
hubris,
It's
little
so good.
tapenade, little
So good.
mix.
This Wilsonian olive tapenade hubris has spread like a cancer through many of America's largest
Sounds
corporations,
delicious.
its public institutions, and its popular culture. Those who run our so-called American corporations have bent to the will of the woke agenda and care more for their foreign investors and organizations than their American workers and customers.
So-called American corporations? Are they? Is that like a dispute?
And today, nearly every top-tier U.S. university president or Wall Street hedge fund manager has more in common with a socialist European head of state than with the parents at a high school football game in Waco, Texas.
It's all those damn socialist checks, notes, hedge fund manager. Is that what we wrote? Kevin, did we write socialist?
We wrote socialist hedge fund manager. Yeah, we did.
That's pretty much it.
Many elites' entire identity, it seems, is wrapped up in their sense of superiority over those people. But under our Constitution, they are mere equals of the workers who shower after work instead of before. What did I just read?
Okay, that's the thing about this is like Tom has been occasionally like doing a little add a word or a silly thing, but nothing Tom has added is as insane as the fucking things
It's like
that they wrote.
what he's reading. You can skip my joke.
And mine too.
Okay, this is as it should and must be. Intellectual
Kevin, should
sophistication.
we just skip to the next part straight? Should we just go straight?
Kevin-
Put a feckless in between the lines.
I forgot that this wasn't the edited version of the show.
You know, do the obverse of that, guys. Do the obverse.
This is why we do an edited product, because sometimes we do this.
If we don't, then everybody could see our creatureliness. That's the problem. It's just out in the open.
Oh, they've seen enough
This
of my
next sentence-
creatureliness.
Oh, God. Intellectual sophistication, advanced degrees, financial success, and all other markers of elite status have no bearing on a person's knowledge of the one thing most necessary for governance: what it means to live well.
Well, what? Okay, but why would that be the one thing where knowing shit had no effect on how much you knew about it?
Yeah, right.
What?
That knowledge is available to each of us, no matter how humble our backgrounds or how unpretentious our attainments. Yes.
Dogs should be real mares, not just celebrated mares.
How can you say unpretentious right before attainment?
This is the most pretentious thing.
I know you can say
I know.
It is the obverse of pretentiousness.
Oh, amazing.
Be not feckless.
Kevin, are we doing unpretentious verbosity right now?
We're doing unpretentious verbosity
Sounding
now.
with each other a
We're
little
gonna do the
bit.
obverse of that, actually.
We should learn words.
No. This is like if a word of the day calendar and like the Declaration of the Independence got in that fly machine from the movie,
Right, yeah.
and it just mushed them together.
Yeah, it's like you should pull them apart.
It is open to us to read in the book of human nature, to which we are all offered the key just by merit of our shared humanity. One of the great premises of American political life is that everyone who can read in that book must have a voice in deciding the course and fate of our republic.
Reading that book while Donald Trump's out. Okay, forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
JD
Leah
Vance
Michele,
is
too.
cool. JD Vance, John Everyman Hillbilly. It's in the title of his book, which is about going to Yale and having a tech billionaire buy him a Senate.
Just to be clear, because I know we said a lot, that last paragraph was, we are all equally qualified to run the country because we can all equally trust our guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Progressive policymakers and pundits in America either fail to understand this premise or intentionally reject it.
I'm doing the second one. I don't know what you guys are doing.
They enthusiastically support supranational organizations like the United Nations and European Union,
Vampire Council,
which are run and staffed almost entirely by people who share their values and are mostly insulated from the influence of national elections. That's why they are eager for America to sign international treaties on everything from pharmaceutical patents to climate change to the rights of the child.
And rights of the child is in scare quotes too. It takes a lot to demonize the Treaty on the Rights of the Child. But Kevin's up for the challenge, I guess.
Amazing.
Even as I'm reading it, I'm like, I can't be reading this.
Why would you do that?
These are words that are coming out of my mouth, and I feel ashamed of myself for having
Feels like
said
a
them.
printer jam at your fucking volcano lair.
And why those treaties invariably endorse policies that could never pass through the U.S. Congress? Because nothing passes through the U.S. Congress, like the progressive Woodrow Wilson a century ago.
That was the last thing we realized.
The woke left today seeks a world bound by global treaties they write, in which they exercise dictatorial powers over all nations without being subject to democratic accountability.
Yeah, so for those of you keeping account, that is the third reference to famous racist Woodrow Wilson being too woke for Project 2025.
I think they're a lot more Wilsonian than they realize.
Yeah,
If you look into his,
yeah.
you know, like
Common.
eugenics opinions.
Movie choices.
We need a new birth of our nation. Wait, no, fuck.
There it is.
That's why today's progressive left so cavalierly supports open borders, despite the lawless humanitarian crises their policy created along America's southern border.
Where they weren't enacted.
Yeah.
They seek to purge the very concept of the nation state from the American ethos, no matter how much crime increases or resources drop for schools and hospitals or wages decrease for the working class.
He says in a document that supports voucher programs for public schools and abolishing the minimum wage.
No shit, man.
Open borders activism is a classic example of what the German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer called cheap grace, publicly promoting one's own virtue without risking any personal inconvenience. Indeed, the only direct impact of open borders on pro-open borders elites is that the constant flow of illegal immigration suppresses the wages of their housekeepers, landscapers, and busboys.
Whatever you do, don't analyze the jobs. I think you think that I think migrants do. Please don't do that. Whatever you do, just don't analyze. Just
Some
roll
of them
your eyes
are
there.
black.
Yeah,
They're taking your black jobs, yes.
Kevin, did we use German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer?
Hey, how are his other ideas? Are they dope and
I think
chill?
they're pretty great.
They're all pretty cash money.
Yes.
And when you reference them, do it unpretentiously, though.
So that a kind of family in the Waco, Texas football game.
Do it with a lot of effect. Do it with a ton of
Once
effect.
I'm fighting this other kid's dad, but when I get back, I want to point out some of the categorical mistakes that Bonhoeffer makes in his early work. I know most people are talking about his theocracy work, but I think
I
it's
got that new
important.
bumper sticker. Bonhoeffer, fuck yeah. Put it right on the back.
My t-shirt says Boofhofer. I put beer up my butt so I can get drunk faster. I'm a Supreme Court justice.
Cheap grace aptly describes the left's love affair with environmental extremism. Those who suffer most from the policies environmentalism would have us enact are the aged, poor, and vulnerable. It is not a political cause, but a pseudo-religion meant to baptize liberals' ruthless pursuit of absolute power in the holy water of environmental virtue.
What is? I don't even know what's happening, man.
Ah, fuck, guys. My telescope's a mirror again. Can we start over? I said things about me that I meant for other people. Oh.
At its very heart, environmental extremism is decidedly anti-human.
What? This is the part about national defense, y'all. That's what this section is
Still on the
dedicated
national defense,
to.
It's like this is debating Kamala Harris, and they're just getting so often.
This has a preamble longer
Yeah.
than the start of one of my citation needed episodes.
We're not even into the essay yet.
At its heart,
So the Etruscans.
they had environmental extremism. We still can't make to
Still
this
can't even
day.
fix it. Yeah.
Stewardship and conservation are supplanted by population control and economic regression. Environmental ideologues would ban the fuels that run almost all the world's cars, planes, factories, farms, and electric grids. Abandoning confidence in human resilience and creativity in responding to the challenges of the future would raise impediments to the most meaningful human activities.
Like rolling coal.
They would stand human affairs on their head, regarding human activity itself as fundamentally a threat to be sacrificed to the god of nature. The same goals are the heart of elite support for economic globalization. For 30 years, America's political, economic, and cultural leaders embraced and enriched communist China and its genocidal Communist Party, while hollowing out America's industrial base. What may have started out with good intentions has now been made clear.
And they have to add the good intentions part because they were on the side of doing all this shit when it started. It was their guy who started it, and the Heritage Foundation supported it.
Yeah, right.
Unfettered trade with China has been a catastrophe. It has made a handful of American corporations enormously profitable while twisting their business incentives away from the American people's needs. For a generation, politicians of both parties promised that engagement with Beijing would grow our economy while injecting American values into China. The opposite has happened. Perhaps even the obverse. American factories have closed. Jobs have been outsourced. Our manufacturing economy has been financialized. Okay. And all along.
Sounds communist.
Sounds kind of sexy, to be honest.
What is that? Could that sentence mean?
Sounds a little dirty.
And all along, the corporations profiting failed to export our values of human rights and freedom. Rather, they imported China's anti-American values into their C-suites.
Which is why we must elect their officially paid lobbyists into positions of power.
Even before the rise of big tech, Wall Street ignored China's serial theft of American intellectual property. It outright cheered the elimination of American manufacturing jobs. Learn to code, they would gloat. These were just the price of progress. Engagement was at every step Beijing's project, not America's. The Chinese Communist Party dictated terms only to break them whenever it suited them.
Oh, can you imagine a country that would just break its treaty whenever it suits them? What assholes? What assholes would do that?
They stole our technology, spied on our people, and threatened our allies, all with trillions of dollars of wealth and military power financed by their access to our market. Then came the rise of big tech, which is now less a contributor to the U.S. economy than it is a tool of China's government. In exchange for cheap labor and regulatory special treatment from Beijing, America's largest technology firms funnel data about Americans to the CCP. They hand over sensitive intellectual property with military and intelligence applications to keep the money rolling in. They let Beijing censor Chinese users on their platforms. They let the CCP set their corporate policies about mobile apps, and they run interference for our rivals' political priorities in Washington. One side of big tech companies' business model is old-fashioned American competitiveness and world-changing technological innovation. But increasingly, that side of these businesses is overshadowed by their role as operatives in the lucrative employ of America's most dangerous international enemy.
And that's why everybody on Facebook calls me an asshole. It's not because they think I'm one. It's because
I
they've
like
been
that towards
directed.
the end of that paragraph, he realized that the bad things he was describing were his values. So he had to add, like, but they're doing it gaily and communistly. That's the bad part.
If you want to understand the danger, posed by collaboration between big tech and the CCP look no further than TikTok. The highly addictive video app used by 80 million Americans every month and overwhelmingly popular among teenage girls is in effect a tool of Chinese espionage. I know, dude. The ties between TikTok and the Chinese government are not loose, and they are not coincidental. The same can be observed of many U.S. colleges and universities. Through the CCP's Confucius Institutes, Beijing has been just as successful at compromising and co-opting our higher education system as they have at compromising and co-opting corporate America.
Yes, and when the Congress you long to return to power interviewed their CEO, they couldn't find his home country on a map. You were saying,
A casual reader of this 920-page document
Might be concerned that you said overwhelmingly popular among teenage girls a moment ago. That was weird.
I know I've got a TBR list this high, but I just want to leaf through the 2025.
might take the last few pages as surveying a broad array of challenges facing the American people and the next conservative president. Supranational policymaking, border security, globalization, engagement with China, manufacturing, big tech, and Beijing compromised colleges. But these are really not many issues, but two.
It's always a good sign when you feel the need in the middle of your fucking thing to go, now that was not gibberish, by the way, that stuff I just said. I was not just listing random shit.
One, that China is a totalitarian enemy of the United States, not a strategic partner or fair competitor. And two, that America's elites have betrayed the American people. The solution to all of the above problems is not to tinker with this or that government program, to replace this or that bureaucrat. These are problems not of technocratic efficiency, but of national sovereignty and constitutional governance. We solve them not by trimming and reshaping the leaves, but by ripping out the trees, root and
Are you
branch.
talking about democracy?
I
mean, like,
don't
what?
know what's happening. I'm reading this without understanding it at all. International organizations and agreements.
They gave you an amazing botany metaphor, Tom. You're supposed to understand.
I just feel like he's not gotten.
I mean, I was
his point
following you
yet.
at the Bonhoeffer, but now I'm just like,
now I'm
nah,
lost. I'm a little
yeah.
upside down. International organizations and agreements that erode our Constitution, rule of law, or popular sovereignty should not be reformed. They should be abandoned. Illegal immigration should be ended, not mitigated. The border sealed, not reprioritized. Economic engagement with China should be ended, not rethought. Our manufacturing and industrial base should be restored, not allowed to deteriorate further. Confucius Institutes, TikTok, and any other arm of Chinese propaganda and espionage should be outlawed, not merely monitored. Universities taking money from the CCP should lose their accreditation, charters, and eligibility for federal funds.
Okay, now I'm hearing everything in Marky Mark's voice right now.
Chinese people should be chased through the streets on horseback. I'm a serious person with policy recommendations. And that paragraph wasn't gibberish. Just I'm going to let you know
amazing.
from now on which paragraphs are and aren't gibberish.
The next conservative president should go beyond merely defending America's energy interests, but go on offense, asserting them around the
A
world.
pound of energy in every pot.
We need to offend our energy.
Oil for blood. Wait, no. Yeah. Oil for
Yeah, no,
blood.
yeah.
That's
We had
what
it right the first
okay,
time.
yeah.
That's our thing.
America's vast reserves of oil and natural gas are not an environmental problem, except that they are. They are the lifeblood of economic growth. American dominance of the global energy market would be a good thing for the world, and more importantly, for we, the people.
What, oh, for the world, and more importantly, no, I'm going to stop you there, brother.
It's not just about jobs, even though unleashing domestic energy production would create millions of them. It's not just about higher wages for workers who didn't go to college, though they would receive the raises they have missed out on for 2 generations. full spectrum strategic energy. How? I don't know. Full spectrum strategic energy
Hey,
dominance.
we're drilling more, but your job that has nothing to do with that. We're giving you 2 decades of raises now because we want to.
Full spectrum strategic energy dominance. What could that mean? What could
That's what I'm
that
calling my
mean?
son's autism from now on.
That's
fucking
the third
rules.
time I've read that. It doesn't.
I'm typing that on his IEP right now.
Full spectrum strategic
He has,
energy
He has
dominance.
full spectrum strategic energy.
That sounds, that sounds like an acronym of a James Bond villain corporation.
Yeah, I was thinking like
right?
like a Transformer movie group or something like that.
Right, yeah, like it should spell out fissile or something like that.
Would facilitate the reinvigoration of America's entire industrial and manufacturing sector as we disentangle our economy from China. Globally, it would rebalance power away from dangerous regimes in Russia and the Middle East. It would build powerful alliances with fast-growing nations in Africa and provide us with the leverage to counter Chinese ambitions in South America and the Pacific. Locally, it would drive billions of dollars to private investments to the communities that have been hammered by globalization since the 1990s. And it would clarify our intentions to Beijing that the next president can ensure that a large part of America's reindustrialization is the production of the equipment we will need to dissuade future foreign meddling with U.S. vital interests.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening too well.
Who was?
I thought you said that they wanted to turn refugees into energon cubes. Is that right? Yeah. Well, okay. So while I take a quick look back over the text, let's take just a check in with Ian to see how much we've raised so far. Ian,
Yes. Hi, we've raised $65,000.
Yeah, how much?
$65,000.
thank you. Keep
Makes
going.
you
problem.
sing, doesn't it, Ian?
9 more pages. So there's still time to donate, everybody.
There's still time to get us up over 6 figures. Okay, that would be like huge. I know that's a big stretch
big
from where
ask,
we're at
but
right now.
You
still have
could
a long
double
way to
your
go.
donations right now. I mean, you could.
All right. Okay. So
Match
while we
yourself, whatever.
wrap our head around these zeros, not enough of them, but we still need more zeros. But anyway, while we wrap our head around these zeros, let's check back over at Trump Tower to see if they're doing any better with Project 2025 than we are. Meddling with U.S. vital interests.
Wait, sorry, DJ.
It's JD.
Whatever, Herman Miller. What's up with all the China stuff? We love China. China makes all my shit.
Right. So we don't actually dislike China. We dislike the power we give them when they make our stuff. So we're going to have them make more of our stuff. We just want them to pay us to do it.
But if they have more money than us, are they just going to sell to someone else?
Well, no, because Russia has asked them to play nice with us.
Why though?
Well, because Donald is... Come on, you know why.
Got it. Nope, got it. Okay, so we hate China, but we don't hate China.
Sorry, China?
China. That's what I said.
China.
China.
With a CH.
China? That can't be right. Are you trying to say vagina, Jabib?
Nah, then he would have said IKEA.
You know what? Never mind. Forget it.
China.
You ever have fun with an Allen wrench? Like, really have fun with an Allen wrench?
All right, we're in the home stretch now. What else
Got
could
a
they screw up?
huge size one. You've never even seen it. My vagina is hex shaped.
Melania, stay in the sketch. Or Sarah.
All right, Tom, we're in the home stretch. What else could they screw up? What else could they possibly screw up?
Promise number 4, secure our God-given individual right to enjoy the blessings of liberty.
All right, that. Okay.
The Declaration of Independence.
Our promises are fourfold. We will maybe have a fifth.
The Declaration of Independence famously asserted the belief of America's founders that all men are created equal and endowed with God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's the pursuit of happiness that is central to America's heroic experiment in self-government.
He said while trying to outlaw porn.
Thank you. You can't be Nozick's utility monster and outlaw porn. Right. You can't.
Right.
When the founders spoke of the pursuit of happiness, what they meant might be understood today as, in essence, pursuit of blessedness. That is, an individual must be free to live as his creator ordained, to flourish.
Oh, so when they said happiness, they meant Christianity.
Yeah.
Weird. They wouldn't just say that.
It's weird
Yeah.
they didn't know that word.
Our Constitution grants each of us the liberty to do not what we want, but what we ought.
And there goes the liberty.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
This pursuit of the good life is found primarily in family, marriage, children, Thanksgiving dinners, and the like.
It's insane.
And you have to stop banning us from Thanksgiving for being, quote, literal neo-Nazis. This is me. I wrote to my
This is
daughter.
the-
Fuck.
This is the literal freedom is slavery chapter, guys.
You are free to do as you're told.
Yeah,
That is what
yes.
I said.
Yeah.
Many find happiness through their work, their tireless, soul-sucking work. Think of dedicated teachers or healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs or plumbers throwing themselves into their businesses.
You can't throw yourself into your business when you're a plumber. That's gross.
You can if your name's Luigi.
Anyone who sees a job well done as a personal reward rather than seeking money for their work. They should have. Religious devotion and spirituality are the greatest sources of happiness around the world. Still others find themselves happiest in their local volunteer communities of friends, their neighbors, their civic or charitable work.
Even more like nothing more than a big juicy apple, which after shining upon their overalls, they bite with a gusto mustering. If someone was saying that last paragraph on a subway car when I got on, I would wait for the next train. I wouldn't change cars.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
let that train go away.
I'm
and
jumping on
get
that
a
train.
new train.
I'm jumping on that train because they're tossing that apple and they're fucking it up right away. And it's going to be funny.
The American Republic was founded on principles prioritizing and maximizing individuals' right to live their best life, or to enjoy what the framers called the blessings of liberty. It is this radical equality, liberty for all, not just of rights but of authority, that the rich and powerful have hated about democracy in America since 1776. They resent America's audacity in insisting that we don't need them to tell us how to live. It's this inalienable right of self-direction, of each person's opportunity to direct himself or herself and his or her community to the good
Yeah,
that the
got it.
ruling
I know what
class
that fucking
disdains.
means.
I'm tuning me out.
Self-direction? That wasn't even painful.
Like
You're not even paying attention to yourself anymore.
With the Declaration and Constitution, our nation's founders handed to us the means with which to preserve this right. Abraham Lincoln wrote of the Declaration
This is a bad start. This is a really bad start.
The dictionary defines declaration
as an apple of God in a silver frame, the Constitution. So must the next conservative president look to these documents when the elites mount their next assault on freedom.
Okay. Trump would love it if Abe Lincoln did a bit more for black people like he did, but he's a fan.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
That's
a
more
fan.
Do a little
okay.
slacker.
Left to our own devices, the American people rejected European monarchy and colonialism just as we rejected slavery, second-class citizenship for women.
Nope. Sorry.
You really weren't tuning
I
me
was
out.
tuning out.
Dude,
I'm
you were
sorry,
tuning me
guys.
out. I'm right
I'm
here.
sorry.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Ian, what's that final
I'm gonna edit
number,
this
huh,
out.
buddy?
I'm gonna edit this out, Tom. Give me my line again. Go.
We're editing? Now we're editing.
Second-class citizenship
I'm
for
saying
women.
some stuff. I'm saying some stuff. If
Except
editing's
what
on the
happens
table.
over her body, though. Don't get crazy. Come on now.
Mercantilism,
Asterisk.
socialism, Wilsonian globalism,
4.
fascism,
Asterisker.
communism,
Judaism.
No, it won't replace us, though. That's the thing.
and today, wokeism. To the left, to the right, to the left.
It's a fucking electric slide now.
Slide to the left.
These assertions of patriotic self-assurance are just so many signs of our moral depravity and intellectual inferiority, proof that, in fact, we need a ruling elite making decisions for us.
Okay, it's more the fact that we had to pry all those things out of your literal cold, dead hands, but I can see how it would feel like that for the authors.
After hearing this document, I've never been more certain we need a ruling elite making decisions.
Oh my God. I'll take a God Emperor Obama, like,
Right?
oh, in a second.
Yeah, on his fucking golden throne.
I'll take a God
Fed
Emperor
10,000
Mitt Romney.
psychics a day. Absolutely.
Now, one hop this time. No. But the next conservative president should be proud, not ashamed of Americans' unique culture of social equality and ordered liberty. After all, the countries where Marxist elites have won political and economic power are all weaker, poorer, and less free for it.
Unless you count the ones that aren't.
A lot of selective counting going on there.
Mhm.
The United States remains the most innovative and upwardly mobile society in the world.
Nope. There's a ranking. The countries with the highest level of social
I love
mobility.
fucking no
in the world.
illusions right now.
In order: Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, Austria. We don't have time, but America's 27.
Yeah.
We're number 27.
Government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. And the next conservative president should champion the dynamic genius of free enterprise against the grim miseries of elite-directed socialism.
The wealthy elites want people to seize the means of production from them. It's the perfect crime.
Well, they'll do it with an icicle
What?
and it'll melt.
Exactly.
And then-
Yeah. You won't know who did it.
It's a little person with an umbrella. Lucinda, are you the global elites?
The promise of socialism, communism, Marxism, progressivism, fascism, whatever name it chooses.
Dude, those are wildly different things by a dictionary. Jesus Christ.
What did we say about doing lists?
Oh, sorry, black people.
There
Fixed
it
it.
is.
Good catch.
is simple. Government control of the economy can ensure equal outcomes for all people. The problem is, it has never done so. There is no such thing as the government.
All right. Going full psychosis. I think I'm coming around, guys, right?
Guys now. Yeah.
There are just people who work for the government and wield its power, and who, at almost every opportunity,
Feels like the
wield it to serve themselves first, and everyone else a distant second. Remember, corporate money is speech. This is not a failing of one nation or socialist party, but is inherent in human nature.
Okay, I will say this. Everyone else is like me, and they must be stopped at all costs, is the closest this introduction gets to honesty. If you're wondering.
It is.
Yeah.
Nighttime satellite images of the Korean Peninsula famously show the free market South lit up, with homes, businesses, and cities electrified from coast to coast. By contrast, communist North Korea is almost completely dark, except for the small dot of the capital city, Pyongyang, where a psychotic dictator and his cronies live. The same phenomenon is on display in the infuriating fact that 4 of the 6 richest counties in the United States are suburbs of Washington, D.C., a city famous for its lack of native productive industries.
I want to point out that by his standards, South Korea is socialist.
Also, sorry.
Right? So are all those upwardly mobile countries I listed earlier.
Also, sorry, his problem with North Korea is that they don't have enough light pollution. That's what I think.
That's the
going
one
on there.
thing.
It's the problem.
We see the same corruption expressed on an individual level whenever billionaire climate activists who want to outlaw carbon-fueled transportation fly to A-list conferences on their private jets.
Or when people who say government is a hoax drive on a road or use electricity from a grid. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Or when COVID-19 shut down politicians like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and California Governor Gavin Newsom were caught at the hair salon or dining at fancy restaurants after moralizing about how everyone else must stay home and forego such luxuries during the pandemic. For socialists, who are almost always well-to-do, socialism is not a means of equalizing outcomes, but a means of equalizing power, accumulating power. They never get around to helping anyone else.
Is he talking about famed Marxist Nancy Pelosi right now?
Yeah.
Is that what he's talking about?
I know it's stereotypical, but I have the black and white shirt of her face on it, and I wear it, trying to pick up chicks in college.
Nancy Pelosi with a machine gun
In the jungles of Cuba.
We need a Shea Pelosi t-shirt.
Yes.
Oh, somebody make that. Somebody do that.
Sarah?
The Soviet Empire was a social and economic failure. North Korea, despite the opulence of its tyrants, is one of the poorest nations in the world. Cuba is so corrupt that its people regularly risk their lives to escape to Florida on rafts. Venezuela was once the richest nation in South America. Today, a decade after a Marxist dictator took over, 94% of Venezuelans live in poverty. Even socialist Senator Bernie Sanders' home state of Vermont was forced to repeal the state's single-payer healthcare system just 3 years after creating it.
Oh, he's done. Because that's the end of the list for socialized medicine ever in the world. Just
Never worked
Vermont.
anywhere else.
That thing about Bernie, though, does explain why he was always hitting me up for $27. I was always like, "Where's this going?" He was,
In every case. Socialist in every case.
In
Socialist
every
elites promised that if only they could direct the economy, everything would be better. Very quickly, everything got worse. In socialist nation after socialist nation, the only way the government could keep its disgruntled people in line was to surveil and terrorize them.
Like all the great countries Noah listed as like the most socially mobile democratic socialist countries.
By contrast, in countries with a high degree of economic freedom, elites are not in charge because everyone is in charge. People work, build, invest, save, and create according to their own interests and in service to the common good of their fellow citizens.
My fucking God. Consider the amount of just uninterrupted privilege it takes to construct that sentence about modern America. Like, here we are, we're just all investing and saving according to our own interests here in America.
All the American dream takes is vim, vigor, and a maxed out 401k.
And a billionaire willing to put you in Congress. That's all it takes.
There is a reason why the private economy hews to the maxim, the customer is always right, while government bureaucracies are notoriously user unfriendly.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
They found a 3-letter pretentious word. They used hue there. You didn't have to say hue.
Government bureaucracies are user unfriendly. Just as there is a reason why private charities are cheerful and government welfare systems are not. It's not because grocery store clerks and PTA moms are good and federal bureaucrats are bad. It is because private enterprises, for profit or nonprofit, must cooperate to give, to succeed.
Right. You know how complaint lines and returns are always so notoriously responsive and easy to navigate?
So as the American people take back their sovereignty, constitutional authority, respect for their families and communities, they should also take back their right to pursue the good life. The next president should promote pro-growth economic policies that spur new jobs and investment, higher wages, and productivity. Yes.
Is the Dow not at its literal pinnacle right now, everybody? Just checking. Yep, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yes, that agenda should include overdue tax and regulatory reform, but it should go further and include antitrust enforcement, corporation enforcement against corporate monopolies. It should promote educational opportunities outside the woke-dominated system of public schools and universities, including trade schools, apprenticeship programs, and student loan alternatives that fund students' dreams instead of Marxist academies.
He says, yeah, let's improve social mobility by defunding public education.
Surefire way.
Just as important as expanding opportunities for workers and small businesses, the next president should crack down on the crony capitalist corruption.
Donald Trump's going to do that for sure.
He'll get right on
100%. Yeah.
That enables America's largest corporations to profit through political influence rather than competitive enterprise and customer satisfaction. And if a billionaire gives us enough money, we'll reverse course on electric cars. Analogous pro-growth reforms for America's voluntary civil society are also in order. America is not an economy, it is a country. Economic freedom is not the only important freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and the freedom to assemble also represent key components of the American promise.
Which is why I've spent the last 20 pages asking you to break that promise.
Today, in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, we see speakers at universities shouted down, parents investigated, mostly by us, and arrested for attempting to speak at school board meetings, and donors to conservative causes harassed and intimidated. The next conservative president must defend our First Amendment rights.
No, we only mostly see those last two in our masturbation repression-induced fever dreams, but we see them, damn it. They're scared. Super scared.
Tom, how would you describe the effort that
Yeah,
they're
Tom,
doing?
what? If you could just use one word.
Best!
Best effort. Okay.
This
That's
is
what
just
this
Best effort.
best effort, baby.
Give it hell, boys. Ultimately, the left does not believe that all men are created equal. They think they are special.
We are, though. We're better than you.
I
We're
have a
special
trophy and
compared to
everything.
you. It's not a high bar, but we're better because
Yeah.
we're better.
We have a podcast.
They certainly don't think all
So many
people have an unalienable right to pursue the good life. They think only they themselves have such a right, along with a moral responsibility to make decisions for everyone else. They don't think any citizen, state, business, church, or charity should be allowed any freedom until they first bend the knee.
That's what a tantrum looks like when you write it out. That's cool.
I'm sorry, but did the guy just been advocating for Christian theocracy this entire goddamn time? Fault some other motherfucker for wanting people to bend the knee?
They just want one knee, man. You
Yeah.
want
Yeah, they've been tuning themselves out too.
This book, this agenda, the entire Project 2025 is a plan to unite the conservative movement and the American people against elite rule and woke culture warriors.
Oh, you're nailing it so far. Crushing it.
Crushing it.
Our movement has not been united in recent years, and our country has paid the price. In the past decade, though, the breakdown of the family, the rise of China, the great awakening,
Drink.
big tax abuses, and the erosion of constitutional accountability in Washington have rendered these divisions not just inconvenient, but politically suicidal. Every hour, the left directs federal policy and elite institutions. Our sovereignty, our constitution, our families, and our freedom are a step closer to disappearing.
Yeah, and it's not because we elected a game show host and tried to overthrow the government. It's because we traded too much with China. TikTok.
Damn you, Timu! Conservatives have just 2 years and one shot to get this right.
Oh, fingers crossed,
Please,
baby.
please make it so.
There's a joke about one shot there that I'm not making. With enemies at home, I'm not making it. With enemies at home and abroad, there is no margin for error. Time is
More than
running
one
short.
shot.
If we fail, the fight for the very idea of America may be lost. But we should take this small window of opportunity we have left to act with courage and confidence, not despair. The last time our nation and movement were so near defeat, we rallied together behind a great leader and great ideas, transcended our differences, rescued our nation, and changed the world. It's time to do it again.
Once more into the breach of social contract, dear friend.
Oh, you wait this late into the night to get Shakespearean. Well done, you.
Well, I needed everyone to have the realistic 2.5 hour effect of a Shakespeare play before they're ready.
Yeah.
Now as then, we know we are fighting. No, we know who we are fighting and what we are fighting for. For our republic, our freedom, and for each other. The next conservative president will enter office on January 20th, 2025
Please no, please
with
no.
a simple choice: greatness or failure. It will be a daunting test, but no more so than every generation of Americans has faced and passed.
Okay, he'll enter office that day unless we do a coup if Trump wins, because we're playing with coups now.
You are allowed to do that. You're allowed to do
President is
that.
immune from everything.
Yeah.
It's
The
not even
conserv-
interfering with government business. I don't know if you know that. It's just a thing that's happening.
The conservative promise represents the best effort of the conservative movement in 2023 and the next conservative president's last opportunity to save our republic.
Last opportunity. You heard it from their lips. This is their last chance. If we knock down Trumpism this time, it will never get back up.
Oh, please, yes.
please,
baby.
please. All right. I was a little over. I did a little too much here, and I actually made a question, Tom. So, Tom, I'm going to read this to you. Okay,
All right.
you ready?
Yeah.
I haven't done.
What was the name of the original draft of Project 2025?
Oh, okay. All right.
A. Indoctrination without representation. B.
Oh, that's good.
Anticonomics. C. Belittle women. Or D. Guns, germs, and stop the steal.
Oh, it's guns, germs, and stop the steal.
Oh,
That's so good.
fantastic.
Sorry, it's belittle women.
Oh,
All right.
I feel like
Oh.
but okay. All right.
Loser.
Okay. One last time, Ian, where are we at?
We are at $69,730.
Oh.
Okay, but
Shy
69
of
is
seven.
like, if we're not going to get
69's a good sex number. We
That
did.
is a-
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Did we pass 420? Can we do 69, 420?
we did already pass.
We passed it. We were Chloe. We zoomed. I'm sure somebody in chat noted it when it happened, though.
Ian,
It's-
donate
it's
the
saying
difference or you're fired.
69,
But I mean, no pressure.
69,
We're
yeah.
still, we
69,
still have to
69.
donate. There may be people tomorrow who donate still. So I will update everybody on the next citation needed on what that total is. We don't know the exact total.
That's a hell of an
Yeah.
amount we raised in 2 hours.
Really is
That's-
pretty
That's
great.
fucking awesome. $35,000
2
an
hours
hour
and 15
thereabout.
minutes, but yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty fucking good, and there's more to come. And this will still exist, right? This will still be
This will
there
still
for patrons
exist.
and everything else.
Absolutely.
So who knows? We might
Yeah,
be
it could
able
be
to add
more.
to
It
that
could be more in
amount.
the
Fucking
future.
great.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We want to thank again all the people who donated all their hard-earned money to the Harris Walz campaign tonight. Hopefully, what we did here makes a difference in the election, like it did when we raised funds to save the Senate. So for Tom, Noah, Heath, and Eli, I'm Cecil. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We put on a show somewhat similar to this show every week on Wednesday. It's called Citation Needed. You can listen to almost all our 400 episodes at citationpod.com. So another huge thanks to our matching donors. Here they are again in no particular order. Fred, No Illusions.
Tom and Cecil.
Jan, Kyle and Kenny and Kyle's App Company, Christopher Sam, Ian from Wine Country, Dave, Goralista, and Zachary and Madeline Wilson Fetro. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Whew. We should do it and record it now.
We should definitely do that. Bye, everybody. We love you. Thank you so
That
much.
was awesome,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
That was awesome.
Adios.
Was I supposed
Cheers.
to record?
Cheers.
No.
No.
Guys, we should have said yes. All right, Ian, thank you.
Amending it.
Thank you.
Amending
Ian,
it.
nobody
Here we
thanks
go.
you.